Hey guys, tonight we begin how medieval people slept. It's late wherever you are. The world outside your window has quieted down, and together we're about to drift back, hundreds of years, into a night lit by candle flame and starlight. In this world, people didn't sleep quite like we do today. Their nights were longer, colder, and often restless, but somehow more alive, filled with whispers, animals breathing in the dark, and the low hum of a life lived closer to the earth. So if you're lying down, tuck yourself in a bit. Let the world of old Europe settle around you, as we slip quietly into the sleeping habits of the medieval mind. They didn't fall asleep in silence, far from it. You'd hear the soft creak of wood walls, the shuffle of neighbors preparing for bed, the distant bleat of a sheep down the hill, and somewhere, a church bell marking the hour. There was no concept of sleeping straight through the night, no glowing clocks or screens, only firelight and time measured by stars. Their beds, if they had one, were often made of straw, laid out on wooden frames or even bare floors. Nobles slept higher, surrounded by tapestries, but even they felt the sting of winter air slipping under the door. Most families slept together for warmth. Parents, children, and sometimes visiting travelers, tucked beneath thick wool blankets, breathing the same smoky, fire-scented air. When darkness came, it came completely. Outside, the roads vanished into ink. The villages seemed to dissolve under the weight of sleep. And yet, in every house, tiny sparks of life still glowed. A coal, a candle, a sigh between dreams. Somewhere, a servant stirs the fire. Someone else mumbles a prayer. And across the land, the first hours of slumber drift slowly over hearth and hay. Sleep wasn't just a retreat. It was a rhythm, split into two, interrupted, shaped by darkness, hunger, and the cold. And as we wander through that forgotten rhythm tonight, perhaps we'll find a new kind of calm in it too. People whispered to each other during their breaks between dreams. They prayed, pondered, and sometimes slipped outside to gaze up at the unmoving, eternal sky. You might picture them curled beneath thick cloaks, feet close to warm stones, breathing slowly as embers died and the night deepened. Beyond the doors, the countryside slept, fields silvered by the moon, the hush of wind in the hedgerows. Time itself seemed to rest. Soon, you'll learn just how different their nights truly were, how every sound, smell, and flicker shaped the fragile piece of medieval sleep. But here at the beginning, just listen to the stillness between each imagined sound, and let your mind wander into that ancient quiet. We'll step gently into their world, into the scent of wood smoke, the weight of wool, the distant comfort of hushed prayers. For the next 2 hours, let the hum of old nights guide you. Let the past drift like smoke over your thoughts, slowing them, quieting them, until it feels like you, too, are sinking into straw and candlelight. Now take one deep breath. The story begins. But before we dive in, please take a moment to like the video and subscribe. It's a small gesture that truly helps the channel grow. And I'm always curious to know where in the world you're listening from, and at what time of night. When the sun began to fall behind the uneven roofs of a medieval town, the light did not disappear all at once. It thinned. It stretched. It softened into long, quiet shadows that slid over stone and timber, over fields slowly emptying of workers, over church spires that watched the sky like patient sentries. The day wound down not with a switch, but with a slow unspooling. Work in the fields eased. Tools were put away. Voices that had been loud and practical, calling over animals, shouting across distance, grew closer, smaller, almost like whispers meant only for nearby ears. In those last minutes of daylight, the world held its breath. The sky, brushed with fading gold and rose, deepened into blue. Smoke from cooking fires softened into long, drifting threads that caught the last light and turned it silver. This was the hour when people began to think of sleep, even though it was still a little way off. Inside the cottages, the shift from day to night was even more noticeable. Sunlight no longer poured directly through the tiny, often glassless windows. Instead, it filtered in weakly, smudged by dust, by cloth, by shutters eased almost, but not quite closed. The corners of the room, filled with a soft gray dimness, and every surface seemed to move a little further away from visibility. In that dim light, families hurried to finish what needed to be done before true darkness. Water was brought in from the well or the nearby stream, because fetching it after nightfall was something most people tried to avoid. The last of the evening meal was stirred, bread broken, bowls passed, spoons clinked quietly in thick wooden dishes. The sounds were simple, small, and close to the body. The scrape of a stool over packed earth, the soft clatter of a clay cup being set back on the table, a tired laugh from someone with aching muscles and sore feet. And then, as if on cue, distant and heavy, a bell might toll, from a church perched at the edge of the town or from a stone tower that had watched centuries go by. The bell's slow, measured notes would drift over rooftops and across fields. The ringing marked time for everyone, the wealthy in their larger houses, the poor in their cramped cottages, all held together in the same pale sound that melted into the dimming sky. Outside, the air cooled quickly. Without the warmth of the sun, every breeze felt different, a little sharper, a little more insistent as it passed through cracks in doors, curling under the uneven edges of shutters. Those who lived close to the land noticed these small changes deeply. A farmer might feel the ache in his shoulders more sharply in the sudden chill. A woman whose hands had been in water for washing clothes earlier in the day might rub her fingers, stiffening slightly as the temperature dropped. Children, who had played and run until the light thinned too much for games, would find themselves slower, quieter, drawn toward the warmth of the hearth and the promise of rest. For many, the hearth was the anchor of the evening. As daylight slipped away, the flicker of flame became the center of the room. Firewood, carefully collected and used sparingly, was arranged so the fire would last into the early night. The light was not strong. It did not flood the space like modern electric bulbs, but instead painted only a small circle of warmth, leaving the edges of the room in gentle shadow. Within that circle, life continued. A father might mend a broken tool, bending close to the fire to see the fracture clearly. A mother might stir a pot one last time, making sure nothing was left to burn. Children would lean against parents or siblings, heavy with the day's tiredness, their eyelids fluttering as the glow danced over their faces. Every surface near the hearth bore the marks of repeated use. Blackened stones, soot-kissed beams overhead, rough wooden stools polished smooth where countless bodies had rested. The smell of smoke clung to everything, clothes, hair, bedding, a scent that we might find harsh, but which to them simply meant home. Farther from the hearth, the room blurred gently into darkness. You could stand against the far wall and see the flames only as a trembling reflection in a metal pot or the dim outline of a person's shoulders. The human eye adjusted, of course, but the boundary between what was seen and what was guessed it was much closer than it is today. Outside that circle of light, other details of the evening unfolded. A pair of worn boots might be placed by the door, mud scraped off during the day now dried and flaking onto the floor. A cloak might be hung on a wooden peg, still holding the faint scent of open air and soil. On a small table or shelf, a precious candle, often made from tallow, sometimes beeswax if the household was fortunate, might be lit just long enough to help with simple tasks, then carefully extinguished so it wouldn't burn needlessly. People were careful with light because it meant fuel. Fuel meant time, labor, and cost. So most homes did not blaze with brightness. Instead, they breathed light, allowing it in small moments, near the hearth or on a table, then letting it fade back into the dim. Outside the house, the village or hamlet was undergoing its own transformation. Shops, if there were any, closed their doors. Artisans put away tools. The last few stragglers hurried home along narrow streets or packed earth paths, their footsteps soft and hollow in the growing heavy quiet. In rural areas, the silhouettes of barns and sheds grew stark and black against the deepening sky. Animals shifted slowly into their resting places, cows lying down in stalls, sheep guided into pens, chickens roosting in the same spots they found each night. Their night sounds were part of the familiar music of darkness. Low, sleepy grunts, soft rustles of straw, the occasional snort or flap of wings. As darkness grew, so did the feeling that the world beyond familiar walls was not entirely safe. The night was not just absence of light. It was a space for uncertainty. Thieves could move more easily unseen. Wolves or other animals might come closer to the edges of settlement, especially in more remote regions. Even the wildness of the wind could feel larger, more alive, when one could not see the landscape it moved through. So doors were barred or latched, shutters drawn tight, and people turned inward, toward one another, toward the fire, toward sleep. Inside shared rooms, a kind of gentle sorting took place. Tools went into corners. Food and scraps were cleared away. Bedding, which for many might be rolled straw mattresses or sacks, was unrolled, shaken as best it could be, and spread out on wooden frames or directly on the floor. The bedding itself told quiet stories about status and means. In a poorer home, a mattress might simply be a bag of coarse ticking stuffed with straw, leaves, or rags. The straw would be changed from time to time, often at harvest, when fresh material was plentiful. But between those times, it would flatten, grow prickly, and sometimes harbor the small, unwelcome creatures of medieval life. And yet, to a body exhausted by hours in the fields or at heavy labor, even such a simple bed could feel like a blessing. The roughness of the straw could be adjusted with blankets, cloaks, worn linen sheets if the household owned them. Layers of wool placed on top might soften the scratches and keep some of the cold from seeping up from the ground. In better-off homes, the beds might be wooden frames raised from the floor, with ropes or slats supporting the bedding. On these, thicker mattresses, stuffed with wool, hair, or a mix of materials, offered more support. Feather beds, soft and expensive, were prized possessions of the wealthy, mentioned lovingly in wills and inventories. But even in those houses, the night air could be bitterly cold. Stone walls held the day's chill, and great halls could feel cavernous and drafty once the fires died to embers. As these beds were prepared, the room's sounds changed again. The earlier clatter of bowls and tools gave way to the slower rustling of cloth and straw, the creak of wooden frames, the faint sigh of someone lowering themselves carefully onto their sleeping place. Children, who might have been fighting sleep only moments before, would suddenly seem heavier, their bodies yielding to blankets and their breathing falling into the steady rhythm of approaching rest. Older family members might speak softly over them, a final comment about the weather, a half-finished thought about the next day's tasks, before letting their words wander away into silence. In many homes, the entire family slept in one room. Parents, children, and sometimes servants shared the same air, the same shadows, the same warmth. Beds were often shared, not just by couples, but by siblings, and in some cases even by unrelated travelers or workers when lodging was scarce. Privacy, in the sense understood now, rarely existed at night. Instead, there was closeness, the sounds of others breathing, the warmth of nearby bodies, the tangible reassurance of not being alone in the dark. Outside, the last traces of color in the sky finally faded. Stars, unhindered by artificial light, shone with an intensity that modern eyes rarely experience. The Milky Way might stretch clearly from horizon to horizon, a pale river of light flowing silently above the sleeping earth. The moon, if it was up, cast a gentle, cold brightness over rooftops, turning thatch into pale silver and stones into shifting, blue-gray shapes. If clouds rolled in, the darkness could become thick and total, so that a person venturing far from a familiar path might lose their way entirely, even just steps from home. For most, though, the outside night was no longer their concern. They laid down in their narrow spaces, pulled wool or linen or patched together coverings over themselves, and let the softness of the dark seep in. Before they slept, many would pray, short blessings, murmured out of habit and belief, asking for protection through the night, from illness, from fire, from unseen dangers that the medieval mind felt very near in the hours of darkness. Some might cross themselves. Others might whisper small charms or phrases they had heard from parents and grandparents, words more felt than understood, woven into the fabric of going to bed. The fire, once the center of light and activity, would be banked carefully. This meant arranging embers and covering them just enough to keep a glow through the night, but not so much that flames would leap and threaten the house. A low, red heartbeat of heat would remain in the hearth, ready to be coaxed back into life in the cold dawn. Then the room grew quieter still. The occasional cough, the rustle of someone turning over, seeking a comfortable position on an uneven mattress, a soft sniffle, a muttered word that slipped out of a dream too early. Little by little, the day receded. The weight of labor, of thoughts, of worries, sank beneath an older rhythm, that of bodies surrendering to rest in a world lit only by heaven and flame. In that moment, just as sleep first came to them, the medieval night was neither entirely peaceful nor entirely harsh. It was simply what it had always been, a long, shared pause in the middle of survival, a time when humans, huddled in their homes of wood and stone, lay beneath the same stars that look down on us now, breathing, dreaming, and slipping into the first long stretch of what they called their first sleep. And outside, the night descended completely, settling over village and field like a vast, dark blanket, tucking the world in until the quiet hours between sleeps would begin. As the last traces of daylight faded completely from the sky, the hearth became the quiet heart of every medieval home. It was not just a source of heat or a place to cook. It was the single point of true light in a world that had grown utterly dark. Flames danced low and steady, casting a warm, trembling glow that reached only a few feet before dissolving into shadow. This light painted faces in soft oranges and golds, highlighted the rough texture of wool clothing, and made the air itself seem thicker, heavier with the scent of burning wood. The hearth was built simply, often just a low stone or clay platform in the center of the room or against one wall. Smoke rose through a hole in the thatched roof or a narrow chimney, carrying with it the faint, acrid tang of damp wood and peat. In poorer homes, the fire might be fed with whatever could be gathered: twigs, dried dung, scraps of root vegetables too gnarled to eat. In wealthier ones, logs of oak or beech were stacked carefully, chosen for their slow, even burn that could last through the long night. People gathered close to this glow, drawn by its promise of warmth against the creeping chill. Bodies leaned forward, hands outstretched, faces tilted toward the heat, like flowers seeking sun. The fire's crackle was a constant, soothing companion, soft pops, gentle sighs as sap bubbled in the wood, the occasional deeper groan as a log shifted. These sounds filled the room without overwhelming it, blending with the low murmur of voices preparing for rest. Within this circle of warmth, the evening's final rituals unfolded slowly. A pot might hang over the flames, simmering the last of the day's pottage, a thick stew of grains, vegetables, and perhaps a scrap of salted meat or cheese if fortune smiled. Spoons dipped in and out, steam rising in lazy curls that caught the light before vanishing upward. Bowls were passed hand to hand, the clink of wooden or horn spoons against clay a rhythmic, comforting punctuation. Conversation flowed as easily as the steam. Soft words about the fields, the neighbors, the ache in a back from bending too long over the plow. Children, their energy spent from the day, might ask sleepy questions, their voices trailing off mid-sentence as eyelids grew heavy. Laughter, if it came, was muffled, close to the chest, shared only among those in the fire's embrace. No one spoke loudly. The night outside demanded quiet, and the hearth seemed to hush voices naturally. The fire's light revealed the intimate details of daily life. Calloused hands, scarred from tools and thorns, clothing mended many times over, patches upon patches in shades of faded brown and gray. Faces lined not just by age, but by sun and wind and the steady labor that marked every waking hour. Yet in this light, those lines softened, made gentle by the glow, turning hardship into something almost tender. As embers settled deeper into the wood, the heat radiated outward in waves, first fierce and close, then fading to a steady warmth that seeped into bones and muscles. People shifted positions, a stool pulled closer, a blanket draped over knees, feet extended toward the stones that had absorbed the day's heat. The room filled with the layered scent of the hearth, smoke, char, the faint herbal note of dried rushes scattered on the floor to catch dirt and damp. Beyond the hearth's reach, the room transitioned into a world of half-shadows. Objects loomed vaguely: a chest for storing valuables, a loom half-woven with coarse wool, bundles of dried herbs hanging from the rafters. The boundaries blurred, making the space feel both smaller and infinite, as if the darkness pressed in from all sides only to be held at bay by that one fragile flame. In these shadows, smaller lives stirred. A cat might curl on a warm stone, eyes half closed, tail twitching lazily. Dogs, ever faithful companions, stretched out nearest the fire, their flanks rising and falling in deep, even breaths. Chickens or other fowl, if kept indoors against predators, clucked softly from their corner perch, settling into feathered heaps. These animals were part of the hearth's family, sharing warmth and space without distinction. The fire demanded attention, too, a constant, gentle tending. Someone would rise periodically to add a small stick or nudge a log with a poker, sending sparks spiraling upward like tiny stars seeking the smoke hole. This act was meditative, almost prayerful, ensuring the flame's survival through the night. Too much wood, and the blaze might leap dangerously. Too little, and cold would claim the room before sleep had fully settled. As the fire matured from eager flames to patient embers, the household mirrored its slowing rhythm. Movements grew languid, a hand brushing crumbs from a table, a cloth folded with unhurried care, boots unlaced and set aside by the door. The air thickened with contentment, the body heavy with the knowledge that labor was done, if only until dawn. Prayers often came here, in the hearth's glow. Fingers traced crosses over chests, words murmured to saints or the Virgin for protection through the dark hours. Rosary beads might click softly, or a simple paternoster recited from memory, voices overlapping in a low, harmonious drone. These rituals bound the family closer, weaving faith into the fabric of rest. For the hearth was more than fire. It was memory made visible. Each burned mark on the beam overhead told of winters past. Each warm stone held stories of births, deaths, celebrations. Generations had tended the same flame, passing down the knowledge of how to bank it just right, how to read its moods by crackle and color. In this way, the hearth connected the living to ancestors, to the earth that provided its fuel, to the endless cycle of light and dark. Children learned these lessons early, watching parents' hands move with practiced grace. A small one might be lifted to feel the heat's edge, taught not to touch but to respect. Older siblings fetched kindling, their small arms straining with dry branches, proud to contribute to the night's guardian. The hearth taught survival, but also belonging, a shared warmth that no cold wind could steal. As embers glowed deeper red, the room's temperature evened out. The initial chill of night was repelled, replaced by a cocoon of tolerable warmth. Blankets were fetched then, heavy quilts of wool or patched linens stuffed with fleece, rags, or feathers if available. These were layered strategically, thinnest near the skin for wicking sweat, thicker on top to trap body heat against the inexorable draft. Bed preparation began in earnest now, still within the hearth's radius. Straw ticks, sacks of coarse fabric filled with fresh chaff or old hay, were shaken out, lumps redistributed by hand or foot. Wooden bed frames creaked as they were adjusted. Ropes tightened if they sagged from use. In humbler homes, pallets were simply spread on the floor rushes, topped with whatever cloaks or mantles could be spared. The transition from hearth to bed was gradual, reluctant. One by one, bodies left the fire's direct warmth, carrying its heat inward like a borrowed ember. A final poke at the logs, a murmured goodnight, the soft pad of bare feet on cool earth. Candles, if lit earlier, were pinched out between damp fingers, plunging corners into deeper dark. Yet the hearth never fully died. Embers smoldered on, a promise of morning revival, their faint pulse visible even to closing eyes. This glow provided a psychological anchor, a living thing in the night, warding off total blackness. Sounds from it continued, subtle shifts, sighs of cooling ash, the rare pop that made someone stir but not fully wake. In noble homes, the hearth scaled up, massive stone fireplaces in great halls, roaring with logs the size of a man. Servants tended them tirelessly, turning spits of meat or hauling fuel in wicker baskets. Tapestries hung nearby to absorb and radiate heat, embroidered scenes of hunts and saints flickering alive in the dance of flame. Even here, though grander, the principle held: fire as life, as comfort, as the fragile line between day and endless night. But in the common cottage, the hearth's intimacy reigned supreme. It watched over sleepers like a silent parent, its warmth seeping into dreams. Animals sensed this too, pressing close to stones or pallets, the shared breaths mingling in the smoky air. The room became a single organism, human, beast, flame, pulsing slowly toward the first sleep. Outside, wind might whisper through thatch, rain patter softly on roofs, but inside, the hearth held sway, its light dimmed to a pinpoint, yet never extinguished, mirroring the body's own descent into rest. Faces relaxed in the ruddy haze, limbs untensed, breath synchronized to the fire's fading rhythm. One could imagine lying there oneself, back against a wool-draped bench, eyes tracing spark paths upward, the weight of the day dissolving, worries blurring at the edges. The hearth's gentle command: let go, warm yourself, sleep. And as eyes finally closed, the last sight was embers, eternal and patient, guarding the night. This glow, this warmth, this quiet crackle, it was the bridge to slumber in a world where darkness ruled unchallenged. Medieval people surrendered to it nightly, finding in its embrace a peace deeper than any modern light could offer. The first sleep approached now, soft as falling ash, pulling all into its waiting arms. As the shutters clicked softly into place, and the last whispers of daylight vanished from the cracks, the hearth took over completely. It became the living pulse of the room, a steady, flickering heart that pushed back the darkness with its warm, trembling light. Flames licked at logs of oak or birch, their edges curling black before glowing red, sending soft waves of heat that made the air shimmer just a little. Smoke rose in thin, lazy spirals through the roof hole, carrying with it the deep, woody scent that filled every corner of the cottage. This was no bright flood of light like we know today, but a gentle pool, orange and gold, reaching out just far enough to touch faces, hands, and the edges of wool blankets. The hearth itself was humble, often just a circle of flat stones on packed earth, or sometimes built into a low wall of clay and wattle. In wealthier homes, it might have a proper stone mantel, blackened by years of soot, with iron hooks for pots and a small shelf for precious salt or herbs. But everywhere, it demanded respect, too close, and skin blistered, too far, and the chill crept in like an uninvited guest. People knew this balance by feel, by the way the heat soaked into their clothes and bones, easing the day's aches with a slow, penetrating warmth. Families drew in close now, pulled by that glow like moths to a summer lantern. Stools scraped softly closer, blankets draped over laps, feet extended toward the stones that had grown hot as baking bread. The fire spoke in its own language, soft crackles as bark split, deeper sighs when sap bubbled free, tiny pops that sent sparks dancing upward like fireflies seeking the stars. These sounds wove into the evening, a lullaby of sorts, calming nerves worn thin by labor under sun and wind. Within this circle of warmth, the final meal unfolded like a quiet ceremony. A heavy iron pot swung gently over the flames, its contents a simple pottage of barley, leeks, turnips, and whatever herbs grew wild nearby. Perhaps a scrap of bacon if the harvest had been kind. Steam rose in fragrant curls, catching the light before vanishing into the smoke hole, filling the air with an earthy savor that made mouths water and stomachs settle. Wooden bowls were passed from hand to hand, spoons of horn or carved with dipping slow and deliberate, the soft clink against clay a rhythmic counterpoint to the fire's song. Talk flowed easy here, voices low and close, sharing the small events of the day. The neighbors knew full, the way the clouds had promised rain but held back, the stubborn plow that needed mending come morning. Children, their small bodies heavy with play and chores, might pipe up with questions, their words slurring into yawns, eyes blinking slow as the flames. Laughter came muffled, a chest-deep chuckle that warmed from within, shared only among those bathed in the same glow. No one raised their voice. The night outside listened, and the hearth seemed to hush all things to whispers. The light revealed them gently, calloused palms scarred by sickle and spade, clothing patched in layers of brown and gray wool, faces etched with lines from squinting into sun and bending to earth, hair, unwashed by modern standards, caught glints of gold or red in the firelight, loose strands framing eyes heavy-lidded with approaching rest. Hands moved with unhurried grace, a father breaking bread crust, a mother wiping a child's mouth, fingers lingering in tenderness born of shared hardship. As the pot emptied in bowls stacked neat by the hearth, the heat deepened, radiating in waves that chased chill from fingertips and toes. Blankets were tugged closer, cloaks shaken out and draped like extra layers of night. The room sensed layered thick now, smoke weaving with stewed vegetables, the faint must of drying rushes on the floor, the clean sharpness of fresh-pulled wood. Animals sensed the shift too. The house dog stretched full length on the warm stones, ribs rising slow, a cat curled tail over paws, purring faint against the crackle. Tending the fire was a nightly art, passed down like a secret. Someone rose to nudge a log, sparks spiraling lazy toward the dark roof, or added a handful of twigs to feed the flame without overwhelming it. This rhythm soothed, a meditation in motion. Poke, adjust, watch the glow steady. Too greedy a blaze risked leaping to thatch. Too stingy left the room to night's mercy. Embers were coaxed toward their long watch, banked careful under thin ash to smolder through till dawn. Shadows played long games beyond the hearth's reach, turning familiar objects mysterious. A chest bound in iron loom squat in one corner, guarding linens or a winter cloak. A loom stood half-woven, shuttle idle, with threads catching stray glints like spider silk. Bundles of lavender, wartime, dangled from rafters, their faint perfume cutting smoke's edge. The room felt alive in these half-lights, walls breathing with flicker, floor rushes whispering under shifting feet. Prayers came naturally here, woven into the fire's hush. Fingers traced crosses over heart and lips, voices murmuring Ave Marias or Paternosters from memory, beads clicking soft like distant rain. A father might lead, words rolling slow and deep, mother echo, children stumbling after in mimicry. These invocations weren't hurried sermons, but gentle wards against night's unknowns, fever, thief, wandering spirit. Faith settled like ash, blanketing worries in quiet trust. The hearth held memories in its stones, each scorch mark a tale from winters past, each warm crevice witness to births by firelight, feasts on holy days, partings in chill hours. Grandparents had knelt here, teaching small hands the poke and prod. Now those hands guided the next. It bound bloodlines, this flame, fed from the same forests, drawing breath from the same winds, enduring through flood and famine. Children absorbed it all, eyes wide and drooping, learning survival's poetry. Respect the blaze, share its gift, let it guard your dreams. A toddler reached tentative toward heat, pulled back gentle with whispered caution. An elder fetched armfuls of kindling, proud in contribution. The fire taught community of humans, beasts, elements intertwined and nightly packed. Heat evened out now, the room a cocoon against outer frost. Blankets unfolded heavy, wool quilts patched from old cloaks, linen sheets thin but clean if luck held, stuffed ticks of fleece or rag for the fortunate. These layered wise, lightest under to breathe, heaviest atop to seal warmth like a sealed letter. Bed-making began languid in the glow, straw shaken from sacks, lumps kneaded smooth by fist or heel, frames creaking protest under weight. Transition to pallets stretched reluctant, savoring fire's kiss. Feet padded bare on cooling earth, carrying inner warmth like stolen coals. Candles snuffed with wet thumb pinch, plunging edges to velvet black. Final pokes banked embers low, their red pulse a beacon through lids. Noble hearths dwarfed these, vast stone maws in banquet halls, fed logs man thick, tended by liveried servants hauling wicker fuel baskets. Spits turned hairs or joints by clockwork gears, fat dripping sizzle into flames. Tapestries trapped heat, their huntsmen and virgins seeming to stir in the dance. Yet principle endured, fire as sovereign, defying dark's dominion. In cottages, intimacy ruled supreme. It watched sleepers like ancient sentinel, warmth seeping dreamward. Beasts pressed near, dog flanks heaving even breaths, cat paws kneading stone. The space pulsed unified, flesh, fur, flame in slow nocturnal symphony. Wind sighed thatch without. Rain tapped soft, but hearth reigned within. Light shrank pinpoint, echoing bodies drift to slumber. Faces eased in ruddy haze, limbs loosed, breaths synced to fading crackle. Imagine reclining there, wool draped, tracing spark arcs heavenward. Day's burden melts, frets fuzz distant. Hearth murmurs, release, absorb, repose. Eyes seal, final vision embers eternal, vigilant through void. This radiance, this balm, this Hushin murmur bridged wakeful to dream realms where shadow held unchallenged sway. Medieval folk yielded nightly, gleaning from its class tranquility profounder than any electric gleam. First sleep neared, ash-soft, enfolding all in expectant hold. But wait, the tending lingered. One last glance back from palate's edge, ensuring embers breathed. A whispered sleep well to beasts and kin, settling into straw's embrace. Fire's afterglow lingered on skin, eyelids, painting inner visions of flame-lit meadows, sun-warmed stones. Dreams borrowed its temper, warm, steady, unhurried. Through night, subconscious ears caught its vigil, shift of coal, ash sigh, rare spark pop rousing half-heart. Comfort in persistence, this flame, like heartbeat, refused full extinguish. Morning promised revival, bellows blown, new logs fed, light reborn from night's faithful cinder. Season shaped its role too. Winter demanded constant feed, peat layered for endurance. Summer, small blaze sufficed against damp eve. Yet always, it anchored, star to navigate night's sea. Story spun here pre-sleep. Grandmother's tales of forest fade dancing sparks, father's hunts by campfire glow. Words trailed to mumbles, audience nodding into doze. Hearth wove narrative with light, each flicker chapter turn. Senses saturated slow, sight feasted flame dance, nose steeped smoke bouquet. Skin drank radiant bath, ears lulled percussive hush. Touch ruled, rough will yield to heat softened plush. Straw prickle muted by blanket weight. Fullness bred surrender, body heavy as soaked timber. Thus hearth gifted not mere survival warmth, but sanctuary profound. Tiny sun tamed for human whim, dark's foe made household friend. In its gaze, medieval nights found grace amid grit, poetry in primal need. Glow dimmed final, yet memory burned, ushering first sleep's velvet tide. Once the hearth's embers settled into their quiet red glow, and the room filled with the even breathing of settling bodies, the first sleep began, not as one long, unbroken drift, but as the opening chapter of a night's gentle rhythm. Medieval people experienced sleep in two distinct phases, separated by a calm waking period that felt as natural to them as breathing. This first sleep would come softly after sunset, wrapping the household in about 4 hours of deep, restorative rest, bodies heavy on straw and wool, mind sinking into dreams shaped by the day's quiet echoes. No clocks ticked the hours away. Time unfolded by the star's slow wheel and the body's own inner clock, tuned to darkness deeper than any modern night. When eyes fluttered open around midnight, it wasn't with alarm or rush, but with a peaceful awareness. The world still hushed, the fire's faint pulse the only companion in the velvet black. This pattern, lost to our electric-lit world, allowed for a unique interlude of stillness. People might lie awake listening to the soft symphony of the house, a child's sigh, the dog's paw scratching once in sleep, wind murmuring through thatch like a distant lullaby. Some rose quietly to tend embers or relieve themselves by the door, movements slow and shadow-soft. Others stayed tucked under blankets, minds wandering through thoughts too fragile for daylight. Reflections on family, faith, the land's quiet generosity. It was a time for gentle connection, whispers exchanged in the dark, or solitary prayers that felt closer to heaven without the sun's distraction. The first sleep enveloped everyone equally, from cottage to castle. In humble homes, entire families shared the warmth of one pallet, breaths sinking like waves on a calm shore. Dreams came vivid here, colored by hearth-glow memories, fields ripening golden, saints smiling benign in candlelight, bodies repaired from labor's toll, muscles easing, bones settling into straw's imperfect cradle. When the waking came, it felt like surfacing from warm water, refreshed yet not fully alert, ready for night's second gentle phase. That midnight waking, often called the watch, unfolded without hurry. No one lit candles unless need pressed. The dark was friend, not foe, wrapping thoughts in privacy. A mother might nurse an infant, the rhythmic suckling blending with rain's soft patter outside. Lovers whispered endearments, hands finding each other under covers, touches tender in night's permission. Prayers rose naturally. Paternosters murmured low, rosaries slipping bead by bead through fingers, voices overlapping in harmonious drone. This was soul time, when God felt nearest, unmediated by day's clamor. In some homes, small rituals marked the pause. A sip of ale from a shared jug, bread crust nibbled against hunger's edge. Stories emerged too, grandmother's voice weaving tales of forest spirits dancing by moonlight, children wrapped even in half-sleep. Laughter bubbled soft, contained, dissolving into yawns. Animals stirred companionably, cat stretching archbacked, dog whining once then settling, chickens clucking drowsy from their perch. The house breathed as one, alive in quiet communion. Outside, the world mirrored this rhythm. Villages lay still under star canopy, moon painting rooftops silver if she rose, or cloaking all in ink-black hush. Owls hooted distant, foxes yipped faint through woods, wind sighing hedgerows like forgotten songs. Church bells might toll matins far off, a low bronze call drifting over sleeping fields, reminding all of time's gentle turn. No urgency stirred. This was night's heart. Pause between sleeps where life pulsed soft and deep. Duration varied by season. Longer watches in winter's endless dark, shorter in summer's reluctant dusk. Bodies knew instinctively. Hunger or chill signaling return to blankets. No alarm yanked from rest. Transition flowed natural as tide. This biphasic gift yielded deeper renewal than our single block slumber. Minds clearer come dawn, bodies resilient to labor's demand. For nobles, the pattern held grander scale. Great halls dimmed to ember glow, retainers snoring on rushes by walls, lord and lady in curtained bed aloft. Servants rose during watch to stoke fires or patrol battlements, boots soft on stone. Private chapels hosted whispered vigils, candle flames steady before altars carved with saints. Tapestries loomed vast, huntsmen frozen mid-stride, seeming to watch the night's quiet procession. Even here, two sleeps ruled. First deep in feather luxury, watch for reflection or intrigue. Second ceiling till cockcrow. Monks embraced it devoutly, canonical hours punctuating dark. Compline ushering first sleep on hard cots. Matins rousing for psalmody in candlelit nave. Lauds bridging to dawn. Chants rose ethereal, voices blending in stone arches, echoing through cloisters where brothers knelt on cold flags. Their discipline honed the pattern, turning natural rhythm to ladder toward divine. Lay folk borrowed this, crossing selves in bed, murmuring creeds against night's subtle fears. Dreams bridged the phases too, vivid fragments surfacing in watch. Visions prophetic or mundane, interpreted come morn over breakfast pottage. A field ablaze might warn of harvest ill. Saintly visitor promise grace. Journal fragments survive. Merchants noting nocturnal inspirations. Peasants sharing omens at market. Sleep's division enriched inner worlds, allowing reverie space denied by waking toil. Children navigated it innocently, waking thirsty or scared, crawling to parental warmth for reassurance. Songs lulled them back, hummed cradle songs of shepherd boys and starry flocks, voices fading to breath. This taught pattern early, bodies learning night's dance before words could name it. Returning to second sleep flowed effortless, bodies heavier now, minds sated by reflection. Blankets tugged close, positions shifted for comfort, side lying fetal, back spooned for shared heat. Straw crackled faint under weight, while scratching gentle against skin. Breaths deep and collective, rooms sighing into unison. This phase dreamed softer, consolidating day's lessons, preparing for light's return. Duration matched first, 3 to 4 hours, yielding total rest matching modern needs, yet richer in texture. Why lost? Artificial light fractured it, candles extended evenings, lamps pierced dark, clocks regimented blocks. Industrial nights banished watch, compressing sleep to single bolt. Yet traces linger. Afternoon naps, jet lag splits, infants' natural phases echoing ancestral pattern. Reclaiming hints deeper calm. Midnight thoughts fertile ground for creativity. Season sculpted it finely. Winter's long nights stretched watches generous. Families huddled longer in ember huddle. Summer compressed phases. Dawn chasing dusk quick. Harvest crammed sleep single. Urgency overriding rhythm. Lent or fasts deepened vigils. Prayer filling hunger's gap. Sounds orchestrated transition. Winds hush. Thatch rustle. Animal snuffles sinking breaths. Bells told canonical markers. Vespers to Compline. Lauds heralding second's end. These anchored souls. Time's gentle shepherd through dark. Ends hosted strangers watches wary. Shared pallets birthed tales swapped low. Bonds forged in night's equality. Travelers pondered roads ahead. Homes left. Fortunes sought. Pilgrims prayed extra. Staffs clutched like talismans. Sickness altered flow. Fevers fragmented further. Coughs punctuating hush. Yet pattern endured. Body clinging to ancient cadence amid distress. Healers prescribed watch herbs, valerian teas. Poppy drafts easing back to second slumber. Animals mirrored faithfully. Dogs waking alert then resettling. Cats prowling silent returns to curl. Livestock load distant fields. Rhythms communal across species. Nobles watches whispered power plays. Counselors summoned hush voice. Letters sealed by taper. Ladies embroidered by shielded candle. Thoughts on alliances or heirs. Yet core same. Reflections balm. Night's gift to all ranks. Dream journals from era paint-rich tapestries. Flying over manors. Conversing ancestors. Beasts speaking wisdom. Watch pondered these. Shapes sharpening in retrospect. Folk wisdom held first dreams truest. Second prophetic. Modern echoes intrigue. Sailors split shifts. Artists nocturnal muses. Reviving teases wellness. Deeper rest. Clearer minds. Yet medievals needed no theory. Lived it breath by breath. As second sleep claimed, room hushed profounder. Breath slowed symphony. House settling like great beast to den. Embers wink conspiratorial, guarding till cocks herald. Night's dual gift complete. Souls renewed for dawn's labor. Imagine drifting there yourself. First sink, watches muse, seconds embrace. Body learns old wisdom. Mind quiets to ancestral peace. Two sleeps weave timeless lullaby. Pulling deep where modern haste fears tread. Let pattern soothe now, eyes heavy. Breath's evening. First sleep calling soft. With a watch between sleeps fading into memory and bodies, settling once more into the deep hush of second slumber. Attention turns to what cradled those tired forms through the long medieval night, the humble materials that made up their beds. Straw formed the foundation for most, stuffed into coarse sacks that served as mattresses, offering a prickly but supportive nest gathered fresh from harvest fields or barns. Wool blankets layered atop, heavy and warm, woven from the fleeces of local sheep, their rough texture a familiar scratch against skin that spoke of the land's quiet generosity. Feathers, rare and precious, crowned the beds of the fortunate few, downy pillows and thick ticks that whispered luxury in stone-walled chambers. These were not the sprung comforts of today, but living partnerships between human rest and Earth's patient gifts, shaped by hands that knew every fiber story. In peasant cottages, the straw tick ruled supreme, a large sack of thick linen or hemp ticking, filled with chaff, oat husks, or barley straw threshed clean of grain. Freshened at harvest's end, it puffed golden and fragrant, rustling invitingly under testing hands. But weeks turned it flat and pokey, seeds and dust burrowing deep. Small creatures, sometimes hitching rides in the folds. Villagers shook them outdoors weekly, beating with sticks till clouds of chaff danced in wind, then refilled with whatever dry bedding came to hand. Rushes, bracken, heather if near moors. The scent was earthy, alive, sun-dried grass mingling with wool's lanolin tang, a perfume of fields carried indoors against winter's siege. Lying down meant negotiation, kneading lumps smooth with knees or elbows, arranging for hips and shoulders to sink without bone-jarring prod. Straw molded imperfectly, cradling curves yet shifting under tosses, its faint crackle a constant night companion, sinking with breaths. Warmth built slow from body heat trapped within, turning cold floor into tolerable haven, though drafts whispered up edges, chilling feet. Blankets pinned it down, woolen quilts stitched rough by hearth light, patched from old cloaks, their weight a reassuring anchor through dreams. Wool-dominated coverings everywhere, from humblest hovel to middling farmstead. She provided it abundantly, coarse long wool for durability, softer downs for inner layers if skill allowed, spun by hand on drop spindles during winter evenings, dyed with woad blues, madder reds, or left natural sheep brown, woven tight on narrow looms into blankets broad enough for family sharing. These held oils natural to fleece, repelling damp, trapping air for insulation like primitive down. Heavy they were, 10 pounds or more for winter, draped double or triple, tucked under with rope ties to fend off night's chill fingers. Touch was honest, fibers rough against bare legs or shifts, scratching gentle like cat's tongue, softening somewhat with body oils and time. No sleek cottons here, wool breathed, wicked sweat, grew warmer with wear, a living skin for the bed. Families mended holes by candle dip, darning with bone needles, each stitch memory of thrift and endurance. In summer, lighter layers sufficed, wool's breathability preventing clammy trap, while pillows, if owned, stuffed fern or buckwheat for cool neck cradle. Feathers entered wealthier realms, plucked from geese or ducks at molting, cleaned painstaking by maids over steaming pots to kill mites. Down comforters ballooned thick, light as breath yet trapping heat supreme, sinking body into cloud-like embrace. Pillows plump shoulders, easing neck strain from day's toil or pillowless pallet nights. Nobles prized eider or swan, white and silken, ticked in finest linen imported afar, fluffed daily with cedar shavings against moths. Even these bore imperfections, quills poking through, feathers shifting to lumps needing midnight redistribution. Bed frames varied humble to grand. Peasants used rope-lace trestles, cords sagging yearly till retied, or simple pallets direct on rushes. Yeomen boasted plank boards stuffed deep, carved headpieces saints warding. Nobles claimed four-posters canopied against drafts, carved oak groaning under feather weight, velvet hangings muffling snores. Nightly settling unfolded ritual slow. Clothes stayed on partial, shifts for modesty, hose unlaced, boots by door. No pajamas, layers built from daywear, adding cloaks atop for extra ward. Positions favored side-lying fetal, knees drawn conserving heat, arms crossed chests like self-hugs. Spooning shared warmth efficient, backs to drafts, fronts to kin breath. Children nestled middles, benefiting parental furnace. Sensory world bloomed intimate, straw's dry whisper under shift, wool's fibrous rasp fading to plush, faint must of unwashed linens blending smoke. No silence perfect. House settled with creaks, beams cooling, thatch shifting, ropes stretching faint twang. Animals joined chorus. Dog paws twitching dream chase, cat purring vibration through mattress. Cold air pooled low, feet seeking higher ground or hot stones wrapped cloth. Seasons dictated adaptation fine. Winter demanded deepest stuffing, straw doubled, wool tripled. Hot bricks at feet wrapped sacking, doors stuffed rags, shutters clay sealed. Summer stripped layers, straw aired sunlong, wool beaten dust free. Screens kept flies, windows propped breeze. Spring damp fought lavender sachets, vinegar washes. Autumn freshened all harvest new. Maintenance wearied but bonded. Women beat ticks outdoors, sticks whacking clouds golden. Aired blankets windful days. Men felled timber frames, wove ropes green willow supple. Children gathered ferns pillow stuff, chased geese feather pluck. Beds lived family history. Grandmothers quilt patches telling lost loves, fathers carved post birthmarked. Dreams soaked materials deep, sweat dampening wool fever nights, tears salting feathers grief hours. Morning revealed imprints, hair strands, body dents, small stains life's proof. No laundering frequent, airing, brushing sufficed, scents layering patina personal. Social beds told status silent. Hospitality demanded shared. Travelers welcomed pallets extra, in straw-floored communal. Weddings bedded guests witness bless. Fertility charms, tuck ticks. Sick beds layered extra sheepskins absorb fever sweat. Herbs fumigating. Child beds piled cushions birthing ease. feathers postpartum luxury. Durability amazed. Ticks patch generations. Will blankets wield heirs. Featherbeds inventories prized. Moths ward constant. Cedar chests, lavender bags. Tobacco leaves scattered ward. Fleas hopped inevitable. Vinegar scrubs. Salt scatters nightly battle. Yet resilience ruled. Beds endured floods. Famines, wars. Anchors unmoved. Textures evolved nightly. Fresh straw, springy optimistic. Worn flat, forgiving familiar. Will softened oils time mellowed. Rough new, harsh reminder thrift. Feathers compacted lumps needing need. Redistributed even. Body learned each bed's geography. Soft spot shoulders. Firm hip support. Children claimed edges. Parents centers warm tub. Servants corners thin pallets. Rising first chores call. Pets wedged feet warmers. Tolerated nightly. Space tight fostered breath sink. Cough shared. Snores harmonized. Morning rising reluctant. Toes test cold floors. Blankets cling possessive. Beds remade hasty. Straw padded. Wool folded chest stacked. Feathers shaken lumps free. Day claimed frames benches tables. Reborn evening nests. Compare modern sterile foam to this organic embrace. Straw-breathed. Wool warmed kin-like. Feathers cradled dream soft. Imperfections humanized. Lumps taught adjustment. Scratches grounded earth tethered. Sleep deeper earned. Cherished against discomfort's edge. Noble beds ritualized further. Valets aired featherbeds sun rotated. Laundresses boiled ticks lice-ended. Canopies dusted weekly. Linens embroidered monograms. Incense burned purification. Rose water spritz dreams sweet. Yet drafts infiltrated. Stone chills despite grandeur. Servants' feet warming bed heat. Folk remedies enhanced. Chamomile stuffed pillows calm nights. Hops pillows sleep deep. Mugwort prophetic dreams. Charms sewn ticks. Saints medals fever ward. Knotted cords nightmare bind. Expectant mothers. Slept elevated prevent swelling. Propped feather mounts. Aging beds mirrored lives. Sagging ropes elder beds forgiving joints. Thin will testament hard years. New brides gifted plump ticks hopeful futures. Dowries feather promised. Orphans inherited threadbare. Community patched generous. Night after night, these materials witnessed. First loves whispered, deaths hushed, birth's first cries. Straw caught tears, wool muffled sobs, feathers pillowed final breaths. They held imprint souls subtle, fibers memory woven. Sensory immersion total. Eyes closed sense dominated, straw hay sweet. Wool sheet musky, feathers clean downy. Ears tuned rustle symphonic, touches mapped nightly afresh. Mind wandered textures into dreams. Floating feathers, rolling straw fields endless. Thus straw, wool, feather wove night's cradle, imperfect perfect sanctuary where bodies mended, souls roamed free. Earth's gifts transmuted rest profound, discomfort teacher gratitude deep. Sinking now their embrace imagined, breath slow, limbs heavy, sleep's ancient weave pulling gentle. As the second sleep deepened its hold, and the embers in the hearth pulsed, like a distant heartbeat, the true intimacy of medieval nights revealed itself in the shared beds that cradled entire families through the chill hours. No private bedrooms existed for most. Instead, one room, or even one bed, sheltered parents, children, grandparents, and sometimes servants or guests, all layered together under heavy wool for collective warmth. Bodies pressed close in spooning rows, breaths mingling in the smoky air, the soft rustle of shifts and snores weaving a lullaby of togetherness that turned potential discomfort into a cocoon of security. This communal resting was no mere necessity, but a rhythm of life, where the heat of one body fed the next, turning narrow pallets into living furnaces against the night's creeping cold. In the velvet dark, boundaries blurred, a child's hand on a parent's arm, a sigh shared like a secret, creating a profound sense of belonging that modern solitary sleepers might envy in their quiet isolation. Peasant beds, often just wide straw ticks on low frames, accommodated four or more with ease. Edges claimed by smallest siblings, centers held by strongest adults radiating heat outward. Children nestled between parents like downy chicks under wings, benefiting from the dual warmth while adding their own small fires. Grandparents took ends or corners, their slower breaths a steady anchor amid youthful tosses. Servants, if housed indoors, curled at feet or on floor pallets. rising first for dawn chores. The arrangement was practical poetry. Largest backs to drafts, vulnerable heads inward, limbs entangled for efficiency. Under the covers, layers built shared microclimate. Coarse shifts next to skin, wool blankets pinning heat. Cloaks draped extra for winter's bite. No pajamas separated flesh from fabric. Night clothes were day shifts washed rarely, carrying sense of work and hearth that bonded the pile. Movements synchronized unconsciously. One turn rippling through the chain. Blankets readjusted collective hands. Warmth pooled deliciously central, fading outward where toes sought hot bricks or sibling shins. Sounds formed night's orchestra. Deep parental rumbles. High child whimpers soothed instant. Grandfathers wheezed rhythmic as waves. Snuffles, coughs, sighs punctuated hush. Each met response. Pat, murmur, shift closer. No silence sterile. This was living breath concert. Reassuring in dark unknown. Emotional bonds deepened in this press. Fears dissolved shared. Child's nightmare hushed parental whisper. Parents' worry eased small hand clasp. Love expressed touch silent. Backstroke, forehead kiss, leg drape protective. Sickness spread quick, but cared swifter. Fevers monitored breaths close. Coughs soothed shared cloaks. Births happened beds mid. Siblings witnessing miracle hushed. Deaths too. Final rattles held hands collective. Grief warmed bodies close. Children learned boundaries fluid here. Personal space luxury. Others comfort priority. Siblings fought daytime. Night forgave instant. Bodies seeking familiar shapes. Infants rooted parental scent unerring, nursing dark without light. This taught empathy primal, survival through solidarity. Noble beds scaled intimacy grander. Great curtain four-posters housed couples central, children bedfoot pallets, nurses beside cradles. Silk shifts slid smooth, feather depth swallowed forms, but principle same. Warmth communal, even hierarchy layered. Servants slept antechambers, summoned night bell, yet lords' snores echoed halls shared. Inns amplified sharing stark, strangers pallet piled, merchants snoring beside pilgrims, lice swapping free. Hospitality wholly demanded, travelers fed, bedded regardless rank. Morning parting bonds brief, pilgrimage hostels brimmed bodies, chants shared pre-sleep, snores harmonizing diverse tongues. Seasons sculpted piles. Winter maximal, 8 undercovers. Cloaks doubled. Bricks rotated feet hot. Dogs joined feet end. Cats laps warmers. Summer thinned. Children floor rushes cool. Parents bed center breeze caught. Screens flapped flies. Windows propped stars view. Night rituals preceded piling. Teeth picked twigs. Faces basin washed. Prayers collective kneeling bed edge. Stories told covers tucked. Fox cunning. Saints miraculous. Ancestors wise. Laughter bubbled muffled, dissolving yawns. Positions set deliberate. Backs draft sword. Faces inward breath watch. Sensory immersion total. Skin felt every shift heat wave. Nose sense layered familial. Ears tuned breath cadences. No isolation chilled. Warmth human engineered perfect. Dreams synced subtle. Chase shared. Fall caught arm real. Ages dictated spots wise. Infants coarse heartbeat sync. Toddlers limbs flail tolerated. School age middles active. Teens edges independent yet tethered. Elders corners joint forgiving. Pregnant mothers propped elevated. Siblings yield space generous. Widows double cloaks solo. Neighbors occasional warmth share. Conflicts rare dissolved quick. Space hog turned gentle nudge. Snore punch pat resolve. Romance spark covers hidden. Fingers laced. Kisses muffled. Passions check children mid. Conception favored watches mid. DARPA mission private public. Animals integral. Dogs guard feet twitching dream hunt. Cats per vibration lullaby. Livestock stalls adjacent lowing nightly. Pests joined uninvited. Fleas hopping communal. Mice rustling edges chased morning. Morning disentangle slow. Toes test chill. Blankets peeled reluctant. Yawns chain reaction. Children lingered cuddle final. Adults chores pull. Beds remade hasty. Frames day benches reborn. Health wisdom embedded. Shared warmth fever break. Breaths monitored illness early. Nursing communal milk shared. Plague times isolated, yet craved touch defiance. Blankets burned post loss. Healers prescribed positionings. Elevated head coffees. Side-lying digestion calm. Social norms enforced. Unchaperoned bed scandal. Betrothals bed-tested witness bless. Weddings communal bedding fertility charm. Village dance dawn away. Orphans fostered bed-welcomed instant family fold. Compare solitary modern. Efficiency heat loss. Dreams unwitnessed, fears solo multiplied. Medieval sharing amplified rest. Oxytocin bonds. Temperature stable. Security primal. Imperfections humanized. Kicks taught patience. Snores empathy forged. Inns witness transients tales. Knights snoring sword clothes. Merchants haggling dreams. Prostitutes warming coin earned. Bed stratified. Best central paying. Poor edges straw thin. Morning yarns spun breakfast shared. Bonds nights forge. Seasons festivals altered. Christmas extra guests piled merry. Lent austere solo reflect. Harvest feasts overflowed palates village-wide. Fairs crammed taverns body to body. Accents mingling snores multilingual. Nightmares communal calmed. Child's cry group soothe. Adults thrash held gentle. Sweet dreams spread contagion. Smiles sleek contagious. Sighs content ripple. Textures memory laden. Grandmother's blanket child comfort. Father's cloak hunt scent. Each fiber story woven. Night's archive tangible. Sickness rituals. Extra layers fever trap. Vinegar cloths shared. Prayers collective ward. Recovery marked bed leaving cheered village-wide. Elder care tender. Joints accommodated positions custom. Stories bedtime exclusive. Grandchildren foot massage payment tales listen. Romance evolution. Courtship bed shared chaste. Marriage passion unleashed. Age companionship warmth. Modern revival hints. Co-sleeping studies bond boost. Family beds anxiety soothe. Ancestral wisdom rediscovered science clad. Thus shared beds wove family fabric nights loom. Warmth physical spiritual. Bonds unbreakable. Press close imagine. Breath sink. Security envelop. Communal sleep's ancient grace, calling deep. Pregnancy beds evolved. Early shared normal. Late prop mound-like. Siblings floor tent. Birth immediate pile expanded. Midwives joining warmth circle. Postpartum feather borrowed comfort. Visitors peak hushed. Orphan children bed adopted swift. Empty spots filled love quick. Community cradled solo sleepers rare. Hospitality bed open always. Dream sharing morning ritual. Visions recounted breakfast pottage. Interpretations collective. Prophetic honored. Mundane laugh gentle. Sensory symphony peaked. Skin symphony touch. Breath harmony audio. Scent family signature. Mind freed isolation. Wandering safe collective hold. Night's gift profound. Isolation defying. Warmth democratizing. Love tangible nightly. Sinking imagine pile heart. Limbs entwine. Breaths unite. Shared slumbers lull eternal. As the shared beds settled into their deepest hush during the second sleep, with wool blankets rising and falling in unison to the rhythm of collective breaths, the medieval night revealed its true voice, not in silence, but in a symphony of soft, persistent sounds that wrapped the world like a gentle fog. Wind sighed through the thatch and shutter cracks, a low constant murmur like distant ocean waves lapping ancient shores, carrying faint scents of earth and rain from fields beyond. House beams creaked softly as they cooled from the day's sun, tiny expansions and contractions whispering secrets of what grown from long-forgotten forests. Animals stirred in their corners, dogs' paws twitching in dream chases across moonlit meadows, cats purring faint vibrations that hummed through straw pallets like a mother's lullaby. Church bells tolled distant hours, their bronze voices drifting lazy over rooftops, marking time in slow, resonant peals that blended with the night's endless hush. This auditory tapestry was no distraction but a cradle, lulling minds into deeper rest with its familiar, unpredictable cadence. In cottages, the fire's embers contributed their own quiet song. Soft pops as sap pockets burst, sighs of settling ash, occasional deeper groans when a log shifted in its slow collapse. Family snores layered harmoniously. Father's deep rumble like far thunder rolling gentle. Mother's even sighs syncing with children's high-pitched whistles and occasional whimpers soothed in sleep. Outside, village life pulsed faint. Cows lowing soft in barns. Sheep bleating once then falling silent. Foxes yipping brief through hedgerows like ghostly laughter. No electric hum intruded. This was pure, organic night music, evolved to soothe primal ears tuned to survival's subtle cues. Wind dominated rural nights. weaving through eaves and under doors with varying moods. Gentle breath in calm seasons, sharper gusts, rattling latches in storms. It carried village sounds afar, neighbors' cough echoing hollow, cartwheel distant on packed earth, owls hoot piercing clear like a watchman's call. Rain added percussion when it came, first patter on thatch like fingers drumming soft, building to steady hush that drowned all else in white noise peace. Frost nights brought crystalline crunch under rare footsteps, icicles tinkling faint like glass chimes kissed by breeze. House itself sang structural lullabies, floor rushes rustling under shifting feet, rope bed lacings twanging soft when bodies turned, wattle walls flexing with each gust. Thatch layers whispered dry, my skittering brief in rafters chased by cat's silent stalk. Clay daub cracked occasional pop, mortar settling sighs, building alive as breathing beast. Human sounds wove intimate threads, infants' rhythmic suckling blending mother's breath, toddlers' sleepy babble trailing to sigh, elders we steady as pendulum. Coughs punctuated, dry hacks soothed water sips, wet rattles monitored close. Dream talk murmured fragments, names called soft, laughter bubbled unconscious, warnings whispered half-formed. Snores varied orchestral, nasal whistles, throat rattles, airy sighs harmonizing accidental. Yawns chain ripped through pile, jaws cracking audible, breaths deepening post. Fires nocturne evolved, early crackle eager fading to ember hiss damp wood steaming, ash sifting faint shush, rare coal pop startling brief then lulling deeper. Tallow candles, if burning watch long, dripped rhythmic plips into saucers, wicks sputtering soft when trimmed hasty. Oil lamps rare peasants gurgled bubbles, mantles glowing steady hum. Animals chorused faithfully, dog whines dream high chasing rabbits eternal, paws scrabbling faint straw scritch. Cat purrs motor deep vibrating mattress, tail swish whisper soft, midnight leaps silent padded. Chickens clucked drowsy roost settle, roosters crowed premature, then hushed rebuked. Livestock outside lowed comfort calls, pigs grunted trough dreams, horses stamped hoof muffled. Village scale amplified, dogs bark chain reaction fading echo trails, cats yowled brief territory claims, babies wailed neighbor soothed. Tavern last calls slurred distant, dice clattered muffled, songs trailed off yawns. Watchman called hours hollow-voiced. All's well, drifting reassuring. Church bells anchored all, vespers deep tolls ushering dark. Matins midnight rousing prayer pause. Lauds dawn herald lightning sky. Their waves rolled landscape long, vibrations felt chest deep. Time's gentle metronome. Monastery chants drifted faint Latin, psalms weaving wind. Weather orchestrated moods. Storm gales howled wolf-like, rattling shutters violent yet cozy. Thunder rolled low percussive. Lightning cracks brief silent split. Hail drummed thatch frantic then slowing. Snow muffled all to cotton hush profoundest. Fog dampened sounds distant muffled. Droplets plinking eaves steady. Seasons tuned orchestra fine. Autumn leaves rustled ground wandering. Winter ice expanded crack sharp. Spring rains pattered renewal. Summer crickets chirped endless fade. Harvest nights carts rumbled late. Scythes whetted sing-song. Revels echoed firelit. Lent hushed devout. Only prayers and wind. Indoor pests added counterpoint. Mice squeaks tiny. Claws skitter beams. Fleas hops inaudible but felt. Cockroaches scuttled faint. Moths fluttered candle blind. Yet predators checked. Fox screams eerie distant warning livestock. Children's sounds purest. Breaths milk-scented even. Gurgles content. Night terrors hushed instant parental hum. Songs lulled pre-sleep. Rockabye's wordless melody. Folk tunes hummed chest-deep vibration. Laughter dream bubbled infectious ripple. Noble nights grander scale. Hall snores echoed vaulted. Hounds bayed dream deep. Falcons jessied rustled perches. Servants padded stealth chores muffled. Pages yawned post. Harps strung soft, if insomnia struck lordly. Inns cacophony rich. Accents snored multilingual. Travelers farted ale-fueled. Beds creaked mass shift. Tavern below mugs clinked late. Dice rattled bets. Song's body trailed silence. Health sounds monitored. Labored breath's fever sign. Wheezes congestion warn. Silence's ominous checked finger nose. Healers ear to chest listened rhythms. Prescribed teas cough loosen. Dream sounds fascinating. Vivid fragments voiced. No, fly higher. saints summoned soft. Beasts growled confronted. Morning recounted breakfast laughter, interpretations omens shared. Silence rarest gift. Perfect still post-storm. Breath's only audible close ear. Heartbeats thunderous own head. Snowfall's deepest hush. World pause breath held. Modern contrast stark. Appliances hum constant. Traffic drones intrusive. Neighbors' TV muffled. Medieval purity organic. Sounds nature human animal fused holistic. No overload. Ears filtered essential. Rest deep and selective. Superstitions sound tied. Owl hoots death omen hushed prayer. Dog howls grave digger called. Cricket chirps fortune good. Night jars flapped wings, which portent scattered salt. Festivals amplified. Christmas carols echoed snow muffled. Midsummer bonfires crackled revel song. All Hallows winds wailed ghost whisper. Aging ears favored deep. Elders slept through highs. Comforted rumbles paternal. Babies tuned all. Startled easy, then soothed pattern familiar. Positions sound-shaped. Side-lying snores softer. Back supine amplified cavernous. Pillows muffled on head thuds. Shared beds, breaths blended stereo. Morning crescendo built. Roosters hailed insistent. Doors unlatched creak. Fires poked revival crackle. Contrast night hush sharpened dawn appreciation. Sensory fusion peaked. Sound sense triggered. Wind rain earth. Snores wool warmth. Eyes closed ears rained. Mind map dark acoustic. Therapeutic modern recognized. White noise rain mimics. Heartbeat recordings soothe infant's ancestral echo. Night sounds therapy reborn science clad. Thus night's symphony wove rest profound. Wind lull. Breath bond. Ember guard. Ears open imagined. Hush envelopes. Symphony pulls gentle dreamward. Storm peaks cathartic. Thunder rolls tension release. Rain washes worry rhythm. Lightning flashes memory brief. Post-com deeper. Air washed ozone fresh, inhaled dreams sweet. Watch pauses sound appreciated. Wind stories told. Breaths counted prayer beads. Silences savored profound. Village interconnected. One's cough another's warning. Dogs bark communal alert. Bells all shared. Personal signatures evolved. Father's snore child comfort. Mother's sigh love token. Silence techniques rare. Earplugs wool wadded. Pillows head buried. Dreams sound scored. Chase footfalls thundering. Flights wind rush. Conversations echo cavern. Legacy endures. Recordings Nature Night's bestseller. ASMR whispers mimic murmurs. Night's chorus timeless. Wind eternal. Breaths generational. Embers universal. Listen close now. Hush descends. Sounds fade. Night's lullaby eternal. In the shadowed corners of medieval cottages, where the hearth's faint glow barely reached, and the wind sighed patiently through every crack, the beds of the poor unfolded their simple, unyielding story, a world away from noble feather clouds, yet cradling the weary bodies of those who tilled the earth with hands calloused by dawn to dusk. These were not grand frames or embroidered hangings, but humble constructions born of necessity and the land's quiet gifts. Straw pallets spread directly on packed earth floors, sacks of chaff stuffed by hand after harvest, wooden benches dragged close to the fire for the night, with whatever rags or cloaks could be layered atop. No privacy divided sleeper from sleeper. Entire families claimed these narrow spaces, children tucked against parents like fledglings in a nest, their small forms adding precious warmth to the chill that seeped upward from the ground. The poor's rest was earned hardest, bodies heavy from fields and forges, sinking into imperfect comforts that scratched and shifted, yet offered the deep satisfaction of survival met, dreams weaving through the faint must of earth and wool. Here, in these simplest of beds, life pulsed most raw, breath shared close, fears hushed by proximity, the night sounds a familiar blanket over all. The floor itself often served as foundation, rushes or dried ferns scattered thick to catch spills and damp, beaten flat by daily feet into a springy mat that muffled steps and cradled pallets. Straw came fresh from threshing floors, golden sheaves threshed by flails then stuffed into sacks sewn from old sacks or homespun hemp, the filling prickly with seed heads that poked through over time. No ropes or slats elevated most. Gravity pressed body to earth, hips and shoulders digging hollows that reformed daily with kneading feet. Blankets were few, patched quilts from worn smocks, cloaks doubled for weight. shared across siblings who shivered toes together seeking heat. The scent was of sun-dried fields and faint animal musk, comforting in its earthiness, a reminder that sleep came after labor honest and unending. Preparation unfolded evening ritual, pallets shaken outdoors if weather allowed, sticks beating clouds of dust golden in sunset, fresh straw added from barn corners. Women knelt smoothing lumps with palms worn smooth themselves, children giggling at the rustle, dogs circling expectant for warm spot, beds claimed strategic, nearest hearth for elders joint stiff, center warmth hub for little ones, edges drafts taken by strongest, no undressing full, tunics unlaced loose, hose rolled ankles, feet bare to rub warm stones wrapped rags. Lying down meant careful choreography, largest first back to wall, arms out for children slotting perfect, blankets tugged collective till all cocooned, positions fetal sidewise conserved heat, knees chest drawn, hands tucked armpits, spooning chains formed natural, back receiving draft becomes front heat, breaths neck warm exhaled, warmth built communal furnace slow, peaking central where infants rooted milk scent unerring, sounds intimate amplified floor close, heartbeats drum earth muffled, breaths cavernous chest deep, stomach's gentle gurgles hunger reminder, straw crackled every shift symphony soft, rushes whispered under elbows, cloaks rustled drape adjusted. No silence plush, this raw acoustic bonded, every sigh neighbor felt vibration, textures unforgiving honest, earth cool unyielding seeping slow, straw pokey yielding lumps, will rough lanolin soften time mellowed, skin adapted yearly, summer bare legs rush scratch welcome, winter hose retained insulation double, itchy's inevitable, fleas hop dawn chased, lice crawled vinegar treated, straw seeds embedded pulled morning, seasons dictated desperation creative, winter floors iced bricks preheated rotated toes warm, cloaks tripled sheepskin borrowed shepherds, extra straw doubled insulation, pallets elevated crates scavenged, summer strip bare rushes aired, windows propped fly screened, damp spring fought ash sprinkled floors, lavender wild stuff pillows, autumn harvest fresh renewed all golden optimism, maintenance communal labor, weekly beatings village shared sticks loaned, straw barn raided cooperative, women gathered ferns bracken distant commons, children chased geese down pluck rare luxury, mending nightly, holes darned bone needle hearthlight, patches sewn memory thread, beds lived seasons, flattened winter and harvest reborn, children claimed pallet's kingdom, for its blanket draped, stories whispered head to head, games dawn delayed, infants floor cradled rush nestled, rolled safe arms ringed, discipline soft, naughty corner cold draft learned quick, sickness struck vulnerable, fevers chilled despite pile, coughs racketing floor echoed, healers herbs floor scattered fumigate, recovery slow broths floor fed, pallets aired sunlong, plague times abandoned beds burned, new starts rush fresh, dreams earth anchored, plowing endless fields flying low, harvest golden waves surf riding, earth mother embraces forgiving, hospitality strained yet sacred, travelers floor offered rush mat, beggars corner shared, orphans slotted family mid-instant, Christ's command literal, stranger bedded fed dawn gone, pilgrims exchanged tales floor level eye equal, daily dual use practical, pallets day benches folded wall pegged, frames rare drag multitask, livestock smells mingled barn adjacent, hay sense comfort shared, aging adapted, elders pallet edge joint spared, grandchildren need lump service love, widows solo corners neighbor warmed alternate nights, festivals elevated, Christmas straw doubled ox manger echo, midsummer floors flower strewn, harvest suppers pallet banquet sprawled, health hacks embedded, hot stones wrapped feet rotated, garlic hung mite ward, urine damp mops floor clean, social bonds floor forged, courtships pallet shared chased, betrothals tested communal nod, weddings village pallets overflow merry, compare middling plank beds, poor earth direct purer connection, grounding literal nightly, morning rising bone stiff, toes numb earth kissed, blankets clung possessive, yawns chain rippling, pallets remade hasty patted lumps down, rushes swept fresh, women bore brunt, monthly rags floor hidden, births pallet mid siblings witness hushed, postpartum rest communal nursed, children floor play learned, rolling tumble safe, tag boundaries soft, Superstitions comforted. Rowan twigs under pallet fairy ward. Salt circles pest trap. Legacy endures. Folk memory floor beds thrift proud. Sensory total immersion. Nose earth must dominant. Touch unmediated ground pulse. Ears body drums amplified. Modern coir mats echo distant, but poor palates primal pure. Thus poor beds taught gratitude profound. Earth embrace unfiltered. Warmth earned shared. Rest resilient poetry. Imagine sinking floor deep now. Straw yielding slow. Breath's earth steady. Poverty's honest slumber calling gentle. Winter extremes tested. Frost floors iced breath visible. Pallets straw triple hay insulated. Bodies huddle maximal dog included. Bricks oven hot rag wrapped rotated ritual. Snow drifts door blocked. Pallets inner sanctum retreated. Summer relief. Floors swept cool. Pallets thin fern topped. Stargazing windows propped. Pregnancy pallets propped arm mounts. Siblings floor tent yielding. Orphan pallets community woven quick. Empty spots love filled. Nightmares floor grounded. Thrashings earth cushioned. Cries neighbor soothed instant. Sweet dreams contagion spread. Smiles sleep rippled. Size content collective. Textures memory. Grandmother's rag quilt patch tails. Father's cloak hunt earth scent. Sickness vigilance. Fever's breath monitored close. Cough's position propped ease. Elder wisdom floor taught. Joints accommodated custom. Stories exclusive hush. Romance sparks floor hidden. Fingers lace dark permit. Kisses breath muffled. Modern glamping nods. Ground mats straw mimic luxury clad. Night's floor gift. Isolation defied. Earth connection deepened. Survival celebrated sleep. Pallets whispered nightly. You endure, you warm. You belong. Floor deep rest timeless anchor. Birth's pallets transformed. Rush's fresh strewn blood catch. Siblings arms ringed witness miracle. Midwives floor kneeled skilled. Communal joy dawn chorus. Death's hushed. Final breaths family held. Pallets abandoned grief marked. Dream sharing morning. Visions earth visions shared pottage breakfast. Sensory floor peaked. Ground pulse felt bones deep. Sense unfiltered primal. Thus poor beds wove endurance tapestry. Imperfect perfect. Grounding grace nightly. Earth calls soft now. Pallets yield imagined. Slumber's humble heart eternal. High above the thatched roofs of peasant villages, where the wind sighed freely through every chink, the chambers of the nobility unfolded in vast stone-walled expanses that echoed with the night's profound silence, broken only by the faint crackle of massive hearths and the distant tread of watchful guards. These were not cozy nooks, but grand spaces, high-ceilinged rooms and towers or wings of castles, floors strewn with rushes scented by herbs or imported rushes from distant fens, walls draped in heavy tapestries that trapped daytime warmth and muffled the night's drafts. Beds dominated like thrones, towering four-posters carved from oak-grown ancient forests, canopied with velvet or embroidered silk to ward off ceiling drafts, mattresses layered deep with wool, hair, and feather ticks that sank bodies into luxurious depths. Servants moved shadow-soft, tending braziers or trimming candles, while lord and lady retired to this splendor, their rest a ritual of status, yet haunted by the same chill air that pierced poorer homes, softened only by layers of privilege. Here, sleep blended comfort profound with isolation echoing, whispers of power in the dark, dreams of lands held and battles won, the night's hush amplifying every sigh into chamber-filling resonance. Entry to noble chambers followed ceremony slow. Heavy oak doors creaked on iron hinges oiled fresh, candlelight procession leading through antechambers where pages slept curled on pallets. Servants aired featherbed sun-rotated. Beetwool ticks cedar-scented against moths. Fluffed down pillows swan-plucked rare. Tapestries unrolled daily. Huntsmen frozen mid-gallop. Saint serene in gold thread. Absorbing heat. Radiating soft through night's veil. Floors layered. Stone flags cold-kissed by rugs woven eastern dyes. Rushes topped lavender thyme for scent sweet. Bearskins, foot warmers, grizzly pawed. Bed construction engineering grand. Posts thick as thighs hewn axis skilled. Tester frames canopied against cobwebs drafts. Ropes or slats laced tight, supporting tiered mattresses. Coarse will base firm. Hair middle resilient. Feather top cloud swallow. Hangings tied silk cords parted regal. Inner curtains linen fine for summer gauze. Winter velvet sealed. Valence's draped edges dust ward. Pillows banked head high neck cradle. Preparation evening ballet. Valet's unlaced boots velvet slippered. Ladies' maids unlaced kirtles shift clad. Yours warm water basin washed faces hands. Prayers knelt bedfoot velvet cushioned. Chaplain's murmured Latin blessing taperlit. Final tucking. Maid smooth covers collective. Bed warmer pans. Circulated feet hot sealed cork. Lying regal. Central feather depth swallowed. Limbs spread uncramped. Heads pillow propped stargazing through glazed windows leaded. Positions languid, supine arms akimbo. Side curled furs draped. Back spooned rare intimate. Warmth instant furnace built. Feathers trapping air heat perfect. Drafts canopy deflected high. Sounds amplified vast. Snores hall echoed cavernous. Servants padded stealth wool slippered. Hounds bayed dream deep from rushes. Wind howled arrow slits distant. Shutters iron barred rattle muffled. Clocks rare sandglass ticked solemn. Bells tower summoned chapel prayers. Silence waited profounder. Every cough chamber spanning. Textures opulent tactile. Silk shift slid feather plush. Velvet rasped gentle beard stubble. Furs tickled nose warm. Gold thread embroidered covers caught candle flicker jeweled. Linen cool sheets summer breeze. Air perfumed rose water incense heavy. Cedar ward moth faint. Seasons commanded adaptation lavish. Winter braziers charcoal glowed ringed. Screens fretted with drafts blocked. Furs doubled Russian sable. Rush replaced spices cloved cinnamon. Windows horn pane sealed. Summer linens lightest cambric fine. Windows unshuttered breeze caught. Iced rose petal compresses brow cool. Screens gauze veiled flies. Servants fanned peacock feather languid. Maintenance army serviced. Laundresses boiled ticks lie sweet. Upholsters relaced ropes annual. Moth traps cedar lavender renewed. Tapestries beaten garden air. Feather beds rotated solstice sun. Annual deep clean. Rushes strip new shipped. Floors lime washed breath fresh. Privacy illusory. Antechamber guards ear tuned. Maids pallets bedside summon ready. Children foot benches nurse watched. Romance shielded curtains thick. Whispers silk muffled. Caresses feather drowned. Intrigue brood watches mid. Counselors summon taper lit. Poisons tested tasters wary. Children noble reared. Cradles rock pearl inlaid. Pallets swans down infant soft. Nurses lullaby French hummed. Lessons bedtime. Tutors moral tales whispered. Prayer books illuminated bedtime bound. Sickness royal summoned. Physicians urine tested bedside. Bleeders lancet veined. Possets gold spooned herb rich. Recovery feather propped elevated. Servants broth fed vigilant. Dreams status colored. Empires conquered falcon swoop. Rivals fallen sword just. Heirs born golden cradled. Morning recounted scribes noted omen prophet. Hospitality scaled. Honored guests adjoining chambers linked doors. Honored palates curtain nested. Banquets overflowed, hall bed sprawled. Daily duel grand. Beds day thrones canopied. Frames wheeled alcoves discreet. Livestock falcon mews adjacent rustle jessied. Aging accommodated. Elders canopied low draft. Grandchildren page footstools tail listen. Widows dower chambers velvet draped solar regal. Festivals exalted. Christmas feather beds guest piled. 12th night rushes rose strewn. Tournaments eve vigils chapel bedside. Health lore arcane. Leeches velvet cushioned. Purges gold bold. Astrology charts sleep patterned. Social webs chamber woven. Alliances bed sealed chaste witnessed. Marriages consummated herald proclaimed. Compare poor palates. Noble feather heaven isolation echoed. Luxury chilled distance. Morning summons herald trumpet soft. Servants flock disentangle royal. Beds remade ballet orchestrated. Canopies retied perfect. Women bore ritual. Monthly cloth silk line discreet. Births chamber sealed midwives French. Postpartum gold cradle rest perfumed. Children chamber play coronet. Toy swords rush duels. Dolls feather cradled. Superstitions gilded. Saints relics bedside fever ward. Charms gold set nightmare bind. Legacy gilded. Inventories feather beds prized heirlooms. Sensory saturation regal. Nose incense dominant. Touch silk feather cascade. Ears echo refined. Modern penthouse echoes. Canopy beds luxury clad. Thus noble chambers wove power nights loom. Feather embrace vast. Status tangible. Rest crowned isolation. Imagine sinking canopy deep. Silks yielding slow. Breaths chamber steady. Nobility's hushed slumber, calling gentle. Winter siege splendor. Blizzards howled Bailey blocked, chambers innermost sealed, servants chain hot coals. Furs tripled ermine trimmed, rushes doubled spice laden. Summer respite. Chambers garden viewed glazed, linens sea freighted cool, servants iced sherbets fan cooled. Pregnancy chambers state prop mound feather, heirs anticipated gold swaddled. Orphan wards chamber adopted velvet nurse swift. Nightmares canopy shielded, thrashing silk muffled, cries nurse soothed harp lull. Sweet dreams contagion courtly, smiles dawn recorded painter captured. Textures memory regal, grandmother's tapestry stitch tales, father's sword hunt furs. Sickness vigilance, fever's astrologer charted, cough's position propped gold elevated. Elder wisdom chamber taught, joints feather custom, chronicles bedtime exclusive. Romance peaks curtain veiled, passions unchecked silk drowned, heirs conceived power heirs. Modern spas gnawed, feathered duvets canopy revival. Night's chamber gift, grandeur defying chill, status warmed isolation, power slumbered soft. Chambers whispered nightly, rule endures, luxury guards, dynasty dreams. Canopy deep rest timeless throne. Birth's chambers transformed, rushes silk strewn blood imperceptible. Heirs announce trumpets dawn. Midwives guild French skilled, court joy heralded. Death shrouded, final breaths relic held. Chambers veiled black draped. Dream sharing courtly, visions astrology decoded pottage gold. Sensory chamber peaked, air perfumed layered, touches cascade silken. Thus noble beds wove dynasty tapestry, opulent imperfect, echoing grace nightly. Stone calls soft now, feathers yield imagined, slumber's regal heart eternal. Beyond the stone walls of bustling villages and noble keeps, where the wind carried faint echoes of bells across cloistered gardens, the monks retreated to their narrow cells, simple chambers carved from the same unyielding rock that housed their days of prayer and labor, offering rest as disciplined as their waking hours, yet cradled in a profound, sacred quiet that deepened with every toll of Compline. These were no lavish beds, but hard wooden cots or pallets stuffed with a coarser straw, raised slightly on trestles to fend off rising damp, topped with thin wool blankets woven by monastic hands, and a single rough pillow filled with husks that cradled heads weary from chanting psalms till dusk. A wooden crucifix hung stark on whitewashed walls. Candle stubs marked evening's end, and narrow slit windows let in slivers of moonlight filtered through iron grates, turning cells into islands of contemplation where sleep bridged earthly toil to heavenly dreams. Monks surrendered to rest in unison, habits unlaced just enough for comfort, bodies aligned east-west toward resurrection's dawn, their breaths sinking across dormitory rows like a silent vespers of respiration. Here, in austerity embraced, sleep became prayer continued, interrupted by Madden's call, yet all the sweeter for its brevity, minds drifting through visions of saints and seraphim amid the hush of stone and solitude. Cells measured spare, 8 feet by 10 perhaps, stone floors softened by woven rush mats beaten flat by sandal-shod feet, walls lime-washed breath-fresh yearly. Cots hugged corners, frames planed smooth by brother carpenters, legs turned lathe-spun against wobble. Mattresses sack-thin, chaff or fern stuffing changed Lenten seasons, beaten dust-free cloister air. Blankets undyed wool, heavy yet breathable, folded chest-precise dawn rise. No pillows plush, husks crackled faint, necks supported minimally spine straight. Evening unfolded canonical rhythm. Labor ceased as sun dipped. Refectory pottage supped silent. Chapter house readings moral. Compline chanted candlelit. Procession hooded cloister crossing. Bells tolling dark's permission. Cell entry bowed threshold. Doors latched wood bar simple. Solitude commenced. Habits loosened girdle free. Scapulars folded neat. Feet sandaled off rush warmed. Final prayers knelt cottage. Beads clicked rosary slow. Crosses traced chest deep. Lying monastic. Supine arms crossed saint-like. Side fetal contemplation curled. No tossing vain. Discipline held form. Darkness total save moon sliver or vigil taper pinched. Warmth self-generated slow. Stones chill-leached gradual blanket trapped. Breaths measured deliberate. Mind psalm recited sleep bridging. Sounds cloister pure. Bells bronze deep Compline fading. Wind cloister whispered arches. Distant owl vesper companion. Brother snores dormitory muffled stone thick. Coughs prayer hushed. Candles sputtered plipwack stripped. Mice skitter rafter chase silent. Silence sacred amplified. Heart thuds own chest. Breaths wind-like soft. Textures ascetic honest. Will habit rough cheek scratch. Straw prickle shift muted. Stone chill seeping trestle barred. Hands prayer calloused palm rubbed smooth. Feet rush cradled cool. Air incense laced faint vespers hold. Herbs lavender warded moth mite. Seasons cloister tempered. Winter cells brazier-less frost rhymed. Blankets doubled sheepskin borrowed shepherds. Stones iced breath crystal. Extra psalms warmed spirit fire. Summer austerity pure. Windows unshuttered breeze psalm carried. Screens gauze veiled flies. Pallets aired sun cloister. Maintenance brother shared. Carpenters re-legged cots annual. Laundresses boiled blankets lie pure. Gardeners fern stuffed fresh. Whitewash spring renewed breath bright. Crucifixes polished vigil tender. Annual deep clean. Cells strip mat new. Floors lime scrub prayer ready. Privacy profound. Cells solitary save novice shared youth learn. Doors barred contemplation guard. Confessions watch mid whispered grill other. Dreams psalm shared morning. Temptations flesh vanished austerity. Visions divine encouraged. Brethren dormitory variant. Long room cots road curtain parted thin. Snores collective hymn-like. Privacy illusion stone muffled. Madden summoned unison rise. Sickness infirmary shifted. Pallets sheepskin propped. Brothers broth fed prayer rotated. Recovery cell return grateful. Dreams holy scored. Angels chorused. Martyrs witnessed. Christ appeared bread shared. Morning chapter recounted omen spiritual. Hospitality guest cells sparse. Pilgrim's pallet offered crucifix view. Abbot's grace supped. Daily duel simple. Cots day benches script stood. Chests prayer books housed. Livestock abbacy adjacent low distant labor reminder. Aging accommodated. Elders cell ground floor joint spared. Novices stairs carried tender. Abbot's private chambers novice free. Festivals exalted. Christmas pallets doubled ox echo. Easter rushes lily strewn. Vigils all night psalm endless. Health discipline. Fast sleep sharpened. Bleeders lancet veined equanimity. Herbs physic garden brewed. Social webs chapter woven. Election cell prayed. Disputes grill reconciled. Compare noble opulence. Monastic straw pure soul focused. Austerity joy embraced. Morning maddens herald bell deep. Brothers procession vested psalm chanting. Cots remade precise corners squared. Monks bore equal. Vigils shared rotation. Pallets mended communal. Post-vigil rest. Snatched lauds mid-brief. Brethren cell play rare. Novices chess rushboarded. Elders tales edified. Superstitions sanctified. Relics bedside demon ward. Holy water sprinkled nightmare quench. Legacy endures. Monastic rules sleep pattern modern. Sensory cloister peaked. Nose incense dominant. Touch will stone contrast. Ears silent symphonic. Modern retreats echo. Silent cells meditation clad. Thus monk cells wove devotion nights loom. Straw embrace narrow. Prayer tangible. Rest holy interruption. Imagine cot sinking stone deep. Straw yielding slow. Breath psalm steady. Monastic hush calling gentle. Winter vigil extremes. Frost cells rhyme-laced breath prayer clouded. Pallet straw thick hay insulated. Brothers huddle psalm shared. Braziers forbidden spirit temper. Summer vigilese. Cells breeze vented grill open. Pallets fern cool topped. Infirm elder cells prop mound straw. Novices vigil sub tender. Novice cells mentor adjacent guidance near. Night visions cell shared morning chapter decoded. Sweet dreams contagion choral. Smiles lauds recorded. Textures memory holy. Novice blanket stitch psalms. Elders cot leg carved. Sickness vigilance. Fever's brother prayed over. Cough's position propped. Elder wisdom cell taught. Joint straw custom. Chronicles bedtime psalm. Contemplation peaks grill veiled. Souls search taper deep. Modern mindfulness nods. Monk pallets zen revival. Night cell gift. Solitude defying silence. Devotion warmed austerity. Cells whispered nightly. Pray endure. Rest divine. Eternity near. Cot deep rest timeless cloister. Vigils transformed. Psalms endless stone echoed. Brothers candle procession. Death cell hushed. Final breaths relic held. Dream sharing chapter. Visions abbot decoded pottage blessed. Sensory cell peaked. Air incense layered. Touches ascetic pure. Thus monk beds wove salvation tapestry, simple profound, echoing grace nightly. Stone calls soft now, straw yields imagined, slumber's sacred heart eternal. Madden's rising bell summoned, feet rush cold swung, habits dawned swift. Cot's blankets folded chest precise, birth's rare vowed celibate, foundlings cell adopted swift. Nightmare's psalm quenched, thrashing's discipline held. Textures evolve seasons, winter straw dense, summer fern light. Sensory fusion divine, ears bells dominant, mind God tuned. Monastic pattern timeless, sleep prayers pause eternal. Lauds herald lightning, brothers procession dawn psalm. Legacy chants echo modern choirs. So whisper psalms unending. Beyond the stone walls of bustling villages and noble keeps, where the wind carried faint echoes of bells across cloistered gardens and herb plots heavy with lavender and thyme, the monks retreated to their narrow cells, simple chambers carved from the same unyielding rock that housed their days of prayer, labor, and silent contemplation, offering rest as disciplined as their waking hours, yet cradled in a profound, sacred quiet that deepened with every toll of Complin's final note. These were no lavish beds or feather clouds, but hard wooden cots or pallets stuffed with the coarsest straw or fern fronds gathered from abbey lands, raised slightly on trestles to fend off the rising damp that seeped from ancient foundations, topped with thin wool blankets woven by monastic hands on looms, turned by brotherly rhythm, and a single rough pillow filled with husks or buckwheat that cradled heads weary from chanting psalms till the sun dipped low. A wooden crucifix hung stark and hand-carved on whitewashed walls. Candle stubs marked evening's measured end, and narrow slit windows let in slivers of moonlight filtered through iron grates, turning each cell into an island of contemplation where sleep bridged earthly toil to heavenly dreams of seraphim wings and saintly whispers. Monks surrendered to rest in unison across the cloister, habits unlaced just enough for breath and comfort, bodies aligned east-west toward resurrection's promised dawn, their breaths sinking across dormitory rows like a silent vespers of respiration that rose and fell with the night's gentle tide. Here, in austerity embraced as divine gift, sleep became prayer continued without cease, interrupted by Madden's midnight call, yet all the sweeter for its brevity and purpose. Minds drifting through visions of celestial choirs amid the hush of stone, solitude, and the faint scent of incense lingering from vespers. Cells measured spare and functional, 8 feet by 10 perhaps. Stone floors softened by woven rush mats beaten flat by sandal-shod feet over years of pacing and thought. Walls lime-washed annually for breath-fresh purity that caught the light and soft, glowing plains. Cots hugged tight corners to maximize cell-center prayer space. Frames planed smooth by brother carpenters, whose hands bore the same calluses as plowmen. Legs turned on simple lathes against nightly wobble from stone's subtle shifts. Mattresses remained sack-thin and humble, chaff or fern stuffing changed during Lenten cleansings. Beaten dust-free in the cloister air, where birds sang matins early. Blankets of undyed wool hung heavy yet breathable, folded with chest-precise corners at dawn rise, mended invisibly by novices learning thrift divine. No pillows plush or yielding. Husks crackled faint under cheek, necks supported minimally to keep spines straight for morning's labors, a subtle discipline even in repose. Evening unfolded in canonical rhythm precise as clockwork unseen. Field labor ceased as sun dipped behind abbey towers. Refectory pottage of barley and roots supped in total silence, save scripture read monotone. Chapter house gatherings for moral readings and minor confessions under abbot's watchful eye. Compline chanted in candlelit nave, procession hooded and slow crossing moonlit cloisters, bells tolling deep their dark's permission like a final amen echoing stone. Cell entry marked bowed threshold reverence. Doors latched with simple wood bar against wandering thoughts. Solitude commenced as sacred duty. Habits loosened girdle free for chest breath. Scapulars folded neat atop chests, holding breviaries worn leather-bound. Feet sandaled off to rest on rush-warmed floors that sighed softly under weight. Final prayers knelt cottage cross-legged. Beads clicked rosary slow through calloused fingers. Crosses traced chest deep with water from Abbey's holy spring. Lying monastic held form devout. Supine arms crossed saint-like over heart. Side fetal for contemplation curled toward crucifix. No tossing vain or restless. Discipline of body-mirrored soul's quietude. Darkness fell total save moon sliver through grill or vigil taper pinched reluctant at candle's end. Warmth generated self-slow from within. Stones leaching chill gradual till blankets trapped it like a prayer unanswered yet held. Breaths measured deliberate and even. Minds reciting psalms inwardly to bridge wakeful edge to dream's holy shore. Sounds cloister pure and elevated. Bells bronze deep from Compline fading into night's vast hush. Wind whispered through cloister arches, carrying faint rose petals from gardens. Distant owls vesper call a companion to solitude's depth. Brother snores rose dormitory muffled through stone-thick walls. Cough's prayer hushed into silence swift. Candles sputtered their plip-wax-dripped rhythm. Mice skittered brief in rafters chased silent by unseen cat. Silence sacred amplified every nuance. Own heart thuds chest deep like distant drum. Breaths emerged wind-like soft against wool. Textures ascetic honest and grounding. Will habit rough against cheek and scratch that reminded of camel hair prophets. Straw prickle muted through linen shift. Stone chill seeping slow around trestle-barred edges. Hands prayer-calloused rubbed palms smooth and dark. Feet cradled cool by rush mats woven tight. Air laced faint with vespers incense frankincense hold. Herbs lavender rosemary warded moth and mite from wool. Seasons tempered cloister life with patient grace. Winter cells rhymed frost on breath crystal mornings. Blankets doubled with sheepskin borrowed from abbey shepherds. Stones iced till palms pressed warm. Extra psalms warmed spirit fire against flesh quiver. Summer brought austerity pure and light. Windows unshuttered to breeze psalm carried from fields. Pallets aired in cloister sun. Screens gauze-veiled summer flies. Pallets top fern cool gathered dawn. Maintenance brother shared as communal virtue. Carpenters re-legged cots annually with wood from abbey copse. Laundresses boiled blankets lie pure in physic garden vats. Gardeners stuffed ferns fresh from cloister plots. Whitewash renewed spring with lime breath bright and pure. Crucifixes polished tender during vigils long. Annual deep clean stripped cells matte new woven tight. Floors lime scrub prayer ready and gleaming faint. Privacy profound yet accountable. Cells solitary save novice shared with youth learned mentineer. Doors barred firm against wandering flesh or thought. Confessions whispered watch mid through grill to brother ear. Dreams psalm shared in morning chapter gentle. Temptations flesh vanished in austerity's embrace. Visions divine encouraged as soul's true visitors. Brethren dormitory variant offered communal variant. Long vaulted room with cots rode curtain parted thin linen. Snores collective hymn-like muffled stone. Madden summoned unison rise bell deep. Privacy illusion stone muffled thick. Yet brotherhood breathed shared air. Sickness shifted infirmary special. Pallets sheepskin propped elevated gentle. Brothers broth fed in rotation per constant. Recovery cell returned grateful as resurrection small. Dreams holy scored vivid. Angels chorused golden winged. Martyrs witnessed calm and fire. Christ appeared bread shared hands pierced. Morning chapter recounted omen spiritual for all edification communal. Hospitality extended guest cells sparse yet sacred. Pilgrims offered pallet under crucifix view. Abbots grace supped refectory silent. Daily duels simple practical. Cots served day benches for script study stood open. Chests housed prayer books leather-bound worn. Livestock abbacy adjacent low distant labor reminder soft. Aging accommodated tender. Elders assigned cell ground floor joint spared stairs free. Novices carried stairs carried gentle as Christ child. Abbots enjoyed private chambers novice free contemplation deep. Festivals exalted spirit. Christmas pallets doubled ox manger echo straw fresh. Easter rushes lily strewn white and pure. Vigils all night psalm endless stone echoed eternal. Health maintained discipline strict. Fast sharpened sleep to crystal clarity. Bleeders lancet veined with equanimity serene. Herbs from physic garden brewed teas soothing. Social webs woven chapter house. Elections cell prayed silent. Disputes grill reconciled forgiveness worn. Compare noble opulence vast. Monastic stroppier soul focused. Austerity joy embraced as heaven's foretaste. Morning maddens heralded bell deep resonant. Brothers procession vested psalm chanting slow. Cots remade precise corners squared blanket marching. Monks bore burdens equal. Vigils rotated fair. Pallets mended communal hands brotherly. Post-vigil rest snatched lauds mid-brief, yet renewing. Brethren cell play rare edified. Novices chess rush-boarded strategy saintly. Elders' tales moral bedtime exclusive. Superstitions sanctified pure. Relics bedside demon ward silver set. Holy water sprinkled nightmare quench vial small. Legacy endures timeless. Monastic rules pattern sleep modern retreats. Sensory cloister peak divine. Nose incense dominant lingering. Touch wool stone contrast grounding. Ears silent symphonic bells anchored. Modern retreats echo faithful. Silent cells meditation clad, seeking same hush. Thus monk cells wove devotion nights loom patient. Straw embrace narrow holy. Prayer tangible ceaseless. Rest holy interruption sweet. Imagine cot sinking stone deep now. Straw yielding slow familiar. Breath psalm steady even, monastic hush, calling gentle eternal. As the monks settled into their straw-cradled cells and Complin's final echoes faded into the cloister hush, across medieval homes from cottage to castle, candles emerged as the night's fragile companions, small beacons of tallow or beeswax flickering against the overwhelming dark, casting trembling pools of golden light that danced across walls and faces, creating shadows long and soft that turned familiar rooms into realms of mystery and gentle illusion. These were not steady modern bulbs, but living flames, hand-dipped wicks fed by animal fat rendered smoky or rare honey-sweet wax, gathered from wild hives, each one a precious expenditure trimmed carefully to stretch through watch or vigil. Shadows played endless games in their glow, walls breathing with flicker, faces half-lit in warm highlight and cool void, objects looming larger or vanishing into black. The boundary between seen and imagined is thin as the flame itself. People moved slow in this light, hands outstretched to avoid unseen edges, eyes adjusting gradual to the play of dark and gold, sleep approaching sweeter for the candle's patient watch that warded fears while inviting dreams. In every home, the candle marked night's sacred pause, pinched out at last with damp fingers or left to gutter slow. Its final sputter a whisper bidding first sleep come gentle. Candles varied humble to holy. Peasants' tallow rushes dipped fat thick smoky scented. Nobles' beeswax pure honey fragrant burning clean and long. Monks' plain wax stubs saved for Madden's reread. Wicks trimmed shears sharp avoided smoke black. Holders clay simple or iron forged ornate. Placed strategic bedside or table prayer near. Flame fed air hungry. Dance draft sensitive leaping tall then crouching low. Shadows responding wild. Walls waved sea-like. Faces grinned grotesque brief, then softened. Evening lighting ritual measured thrift. One candle hearth-shared family circle. Nobles multiple branched silver candelabras procession lit. Servants snuffed unnecessary early. Flames pinched thumb wet his steam rising faint. Watch revived taper small from embers. Prayer or ponder companion soft. Light intimate personal. Faces upward glowed saintly. Hands shadow puppet fingers play. Books illuminated page golden words dancing. Shadows comforted familiar. Jug-bellied familiar. Beam crooked friend-like. Strangers cast odd. Yes silhouette elongated eerie till dawn known. Sensory fusion candle deep. Nose fat smoky or wax honey sweet mingling hearthwood. Eyes feasted dance hypnotic. Warmth palm felt holder hot. Smoke curled lazy upward thatch trap faint. Eyes watered gentle tear prayer like. Flame sound subtle, softest air fed, sputter wax drip plip, final gutter sigh pop. Shadows psychological companion. Dark corners safe flame guarded. Lurking shapes banished light edge. Imagination fed forms endless. Children finger shadow animals wall played rabbit leap fox prowl. Laughter bubbled soft. Adults pondered silhouette profound. Saint seen flickerborn. Seasons candle shaped. Winter nights long demanded store fat rendered autumn fat. Nobles imported Venetian clear burning. Summer thrift minimal flame, heat added unwelcome. Storm nights doubled light lightning compete. Shadows storm wild thunder synchronized. Maintenance nightly art. Wicks snipped ash free. Drips wiped saucer clean. Holders polished soot soft cloth. Beeswax prized church offered tithe. Tallow hog rendered winter bacon spare. Rushlights poor alternative. Soaked fat pith burning short smoky fierce. Noble luxury escalated. Candelabras branched seven flames biblical. Perfumed wax rose lavender. snuffers ornate silver-domed. Servants rotated fresh hourly smoke-free. Bedside doubles shielded parchment glow diffused. Monastic discipline taper sparse. Compline single shared refectory long. Cell stub vigil only pinched prayer end. Matins relit procession taper past flame shared sacred. Candle rituals embedded. Birthdays blown out wish whispered. Death's vigil unceasing till dawn. Saints' feasts multiplied church bright. Dreams flame colored. Fire's golden winged angels. Shadows demon fled light pure. Health light tide. Candles bedside fever watch. Shadows monitored delirium shapes. Healers' posits warmed flame gentle. Wounds dressed taper steady. Insomnia taper companion prayer said flame gaze hypnotic. Social webs candle woven. Courtships flame shared secrets. Weddings unity lit procession. In strangers circle warmed. Children candle taught. Wax drip play hardened shapes. Wicks twisted games. Flames finger snuff daring. Aging eyes favored beeswax clear. Holders raised arm high shadow minimal. Festivals ablaze. Christmas luminaries window perched. All Hallows jack-o'-lanterns ward evil. Midsummer bonfire shadows wild. Superstitions flame reed. High steady flame fortune good. Sputtering guest coming. Smoke thick quarrel portent. Candles blown wish granted saints interceded. Modern electric stark. No dance alive. Shadows static dead. Candle revival romantic therapy soothing flicker natural. Morning stubs collected melt recycle. Wicks salvaged new dip. Women candle duty primary. Dipping autumn fat vats. Trimming nightly hearth edge. Births taper lit miracle witnessed. Sensory peak candle rain. Sight flame dominant. Touch warmth intimate. Nose scent layered. Thus candles shadows wove night's fragile poetry. Flame guard tender. Dark friend mysterious. Rest flicker soften profound. Imagine taper glow now. Shadows dance gentle. Breaths flame steady. Candle hush calling eternal. Winter stores guarded. Fat crock sealed tight. Wicks bundled dry. Noble cellars stocked year fat. Candles rationed night short early bed. Summer beeswax bloomed high fresh. Flame steady heat mild. Pregnancy candles bedside labor long. Shadows shapes newborn prophet. Orphan candles shared family circle equal. Nightmares flame quenched. Sputtering pinch demon banished. Sweet dreams flame spread. Steady glow smiles dawn reflected. Textures memory flame. Grandmother's rushlight sent childhood. Father's beeswax tied church. Sickness vigilance. Fever's candle pattern read. Cough's position flame warmed. Elder wisdom flame taught. Joints holder custom. Tales bedtime flicker. Romance sparks candle veiled. Passion's glow softened silk shadow. Modern aromatherapy nods. Scented candles medieval echo. Night's flame gift. Darkness defying warmth. Imagination fed alive. Candles whispered nightly. Light endures. Shadows teach. Dreams illuminate. Taper deep rest timeless beacon. Storms compete. Lightning outshines brief. Thunder shadows wild. Candles relit defiant. Death's vigil flame unceasing. Soul's light guided heavenward. Dream sharing morning. Visions flame colored omen shared. Sensory fusion peak. Eyes flicker hypnotic. Mind shadow wander free. Candle pattern timeless. Flame night's faithful sentinel. Birth's taper procession miracle lit. Legacy flames church eternal. Shadow play children eternal joy. With candles guttering low and shadows softening into the deepest corners of medieval chambers, as monks whispered final psalms in their cells and families nestled closer under woolen piles, the mind slipped fully into dreams. Vivid tapestries woven from the day's quiet echoes, night's subtle fears, and heaven's gentle messages, interpreted come dawn as omens shaping the days ahead with hopeful or wary hearts. These were no fleeting modern fragments, but deep, colorful journeys, where peasants plowed endless golden fields that turned to rivers of milk. Nobles rode falcons over vast estates blooming unnatural flowers. Monks conversed with saints whose faces glowed like hearth embers, all carrying meanings divined from church teachings, folk wisdom, or sudden inner knowing. Dreams bridged first and second sleep seamlessly, bursting vivid during watches, when eyes fluttered open to candle stubs, pondered then tucked back into slumber for resolution soft. Omens emerged clear. Falling teeth warned family loss softened prayer. Flying high promised fortune gentle. Beast speaking offered guidance wise. People woke slow with dream weight lingering, sharing over morning pottage like treasures exchanged. The night's visions turning ordinary days into stories sacred and shared. Dreams felt realer in candledark, senses heightened without day's clamor. Touches featherlight yet solid. Voices echo deep familiar, colors brighter than noon sun. Peasants dreamed harvests bountiful or failed, fields ripening slow under moon or withering drought fear. Families appeared whole or parted, children grown sudden or lost wandering woods. Animals spoke human tongues. Cows promised milk rich, wolves warned thief near. Waking carried residue sweet or heavy. Mornings planned prayer ward or caution soft. Nobles dreamed power grand. Crowns heavy head borne, rivals fallen gracious. Lands expanding sea swallowed. Ladies foresaw heirs golden-haired laughing. Jewels raining sky gentle. Servants intruded dream small. Fates intertwined lordly. Monks received celestial calls. Angels golden-winged psalm singing. Martyrs fire unburnt witness. Christ bread shared, hand scarred. Visions prophetic noted chapter morning. Abbot discerned divine. Omens folk catalogued wise. Teeth loose kin death prayer prepped. Flying birds freedom travel or soul ascend. Snakes coiled betrayal friend turned. Milk rivers plenty blessed. Churches crumbling faith test. Saints smiling grace earned. Women tracked monthly dreams fertile child promise. Barren sorrow veiled. Children dreamed pure magic. Flying broomsticks villagei. Animals playmates talking. Sweets endless feasting. Parents interpreted gentle growth sign. Cautions bedtime prayed. Seasons dreamed seasonal. Winter snowpaths endless white peace. Spring flowers speech human blooming. Summer storms rage past calm. Autumn leaves gold fortune falling. Church teachings framed holy. Bible dreams Joseph ladder. Daniel beasts empire. Prophets visions God spoke. Priest sermon dreamed moral. Confession shared burden lift. Dream journals rare noble kept. Scribes noted nightly ink faded. Patterns yearly discerned. Health dreams diagnostic. Fevers fire walks sweat drenched. Pains body attacked beasts fled prayer. Cures herbs glowing picked. Social dreams bonded. Weddings foretold gown white dancing. Quarrels fists shadow punching resolved dawn talk. Superstitions layered. Dream salt spilled thrown shoulder preempt. Knives drawn fight averted waking. Modern psychology nods. Subconscious days process. But medieval soul direct divine. Morning sharing ritual. Breakfast pottage spoon clink. Tales traded laughter or hush prayer. Women dream keepers primary. Meanings matriarch memorized. Daughters taught hush voice. Pregnancy dreams double profit. Boys swords bright. Girls flowers blooming. Orphan dreams family longed arms welcoming. Nightmares rare communal calmed. Demons fled cross-traced waking. Falls caught arm real family shared. Sweet dreams contagion dawn smiles spread. Elders dreamed ancestors wise counsel. Youth lessons imparted. Romance dreams passion veiled. Lovers embrace eternal. Betrayals heart stabbed forgiven. Festivals dream bright. Christmas angels carol choired. Easter resurrection self-rising. Dream incubation practiced. Bedtime herbs mugwort pillow tucked vision clear. Prayers specific saint asked. Thus dreams omens wove night's inner tapestry. Visions guide tender. Fears prayer softened. Mornings meaning rich. Imagine dream glide now. Fields golden endless. Saint smile gentle. Slumbers prophetic heart calling eternal. Winter dreams white purified. Snows cleansing sin soft. Fire spirit warmth. Summer dreams green growing. Vines entangling fate bind. Rivers cool thirst quench. Pregnancy dreams protected. Cradles rock eternal. Heirs crown promised. Orphan dreams belonging. Tables feast family full. Nightmares quenched. Saints intervene sword drawn demon flee. Sweet dreams shared. Fortunes told breakfast laughter. Textures dream soaked. Sweat damp will fever night. Tears salt pillow morning. Sickness dreams healing. Wounds close golden light. Pains beasts banished. Elder wisdom dream taught. Ancestors guide nightly. Romance peaks dream rehearsed. Unions heaven blessed. Modern journals echo. Dream diaries medieval revival. Night's dream gift. Subconscious divine direct. Fears transformed wisdom. Dreams whispered nightly. See deeper. He gentle. Wake grateful. Vision deep rest timeless oracle. Storms dream amplified. Thunder's battles won. rain's renewal washed. Death's dreams gentle, light's tunnel heaven pull. Dream sharing communal, meaning's collective wisdom. Sensory dream peak, vision's color vivid, touches real felt. Dream pattern timeless, night's soul language eternal. Birth's dream prophesied, cradle's angel rocked. Legacy visions church recorded, childhood dreams pure play eternal. Sensory midnight peaked, dark total eye star adjusted slow. Nose wool warmth heart smoke layered, ears breath symphony amplified. Touch blanket soft skin close. No light competed, inner world reigned imagination rich. Seasons watch seasonal, winter huddled ember close long pause prayer deep. Summer breeze window propped stargazing brief. Storm watches rain patter soothing thunder distant. Snow hush profoundest silent sweet. Health watch monitored. Fever's forehead felt cool cloth. Cough's prop position ease. Infant's breath watch chest rise even. Social bonds midnight woven. Quarrels dawn forgotten hug sealed. Romance's hand laced dark permit. Confessions sibling shared burden lift. Children watch taught. Stars named father pointed. Prayers mother murmured. Fears banished group hug. Elders watch wisdom. Tales spun endless. Advice life soft imparted. Romance midnight permit. Kisses breath warm exchanged. Plans future whispered. Festivals watch extended. Christmas vigils carol hymned. All Hallows ghost tales hushed. Superstitions watch fed. Dreams interpreted fresh wake. Omens star read heaven near. Modern biphasic revival. Naps echo watch natural. Morning second sleep deeper renewal true. Women watch duty primary. Nursing endless. Prayers family led. Pregnancy watches double nursed babe kicked felt. Orphan watches belonging craved arms shared. Thus midnight hours wove night's gentle pause. Watch reflection tender. Connection deepened. Sleep's bridged sweet. Imagine watch there now. Embers glow faint. Whispers family close. Midnight hush. Winter watches hunkered. Bricks rotated feet hot. Cloaks extra draped. Stories winter long spun. Summer watches star vented. Windows propped constellation aimed. Pregnancy watches babe motion prophet read. Orphan watches family tales longed. Nightmares watch quenched. Demons cross banished group prayer. Sweet watches plan shared. Future's dawn brightened. Textures watch worn. Will soften skin oils. Straw lumps needed smooth. Sickness watch vigil. Fever's cloth cooled constant. Elder wisdom watch exclusive. Chronicles imparted hush. Romance peaks watch rehearsed. Unions dawn sealed. Modern insomnia fears watch misunderstood. Night's watch gift. Pause restorative. Bonds midnight strong. Watch whispered nightly. Reflect gentle. Connect deep. Renew complete. Pause deep rest timeless bridge. Storms watch cathartic. Thunder's tension released rain soothed. Death's watch vigil. Souls prayed over light led. Watch sharing communal. Meanings dawn discussed. Sensory watch peak. Dark imagination fed. Touch intimacy heightened. Watch pattern timeless. Night's natural breath eternal. Madden's bells watch ushered monk procession. Legacy watches prayer enduring. Childhood watches magic starred. Births watch prophesied. Labor's dawn delivered miracle. Romance watch permitted passion soft. Elder tales watch treasured memory. Dreams watch resolved. Fragments pondered saint interpreted. Sensory fusion watch divine. Breaths prayer rhythmic. Watch timeless. Pause night's heart eternal. As the midnight watch faded back into second sleep's deepening embrace, with families tucked tighter under woolen layers, and monks returning to straw cots after matin psalms, winter's cold began its subtle siege. Night air seeping through every shutter crack, thatch gap, and stone mortar, turning chambers into breath-clouded havens where warmth was fought for tenderly with shared bodies, hot stones, and cloaks doubled like armor against the frost that rhymed windows and chilled floors to bone. Touch. This was no sudden freeze, but gradual creep. Air heavy with damp that chilled deeper than dry cold. Drafts whispering constant like ghosts seeking entry, countered by humanity's patient arts. Bricks heated hearth long wrapped in rags for foot warmers. Extra sheepskins borrowed from barns. Breaths huddled close, sinking heat, like small furnaces. Summer brought its own chill too. Night air sharp after day's bake. Dews dampening rushes, countered lighter layers, and windows propped for breeze that carried meadow scent soft. People adapted seasonal wisdom. Winter piles, maximal dog included, Summer palettes floor-cool fern-topped. Spring damp-fought lavender sachets. Autumn cloaks harvest thick. Cold taut closeness profound. Body spooned efficient furnace shared. Prayers warmer whispered group breath. Sleep sweeter earned against night's patient chill. Winter nights ruled coldest. Air crystalline sharp biting noses red. Breath clouds dancing candle close, like spirits exhaled. Shutters stuffed rag sealed. Doors clay daubed cracks. Yet drafts found paths insidious. Under eaves whistling faint. Floor gaps exhaling earth frost. Floors iced slick dawn warning. Pallets elevated crates scavenged insulation double. Warm strategies layered wise. Bricks oven hot rag wrapped rotated toes numbed. Stones hearth heated bed tucked. Cloaks sheepskin lined doubled weight 20 pounds. Shared beds maximal. 8 undercovers dog cat included. Backs draft ward strongest. Centers children furnace heart. Hearth banked embers long watch. Blankets wool thick air trapped. Breaths collective steam warmth. Peasants wintered huddled. Cottages wattle daub thick. Animal stalls adjacent heat shared lowing comfort. Nobles' chambers innermost sealed. Braziers charcoal glowed ringed. Furs ermine trim tripled. Monks' wool thick habits girdle tight. Cells ground floor elder spared. Sounds winter altered. Frost crackles window pane. Wind howls shutter rattle. Breaths wheeze vapor thick. Snow hush muffles all profound. World cotton wrapped silence deep. Summer chill surprised. Days baked earth cracked. Nights plunge dew damp sudden. Air heavy mist rising meadow scented. Windows prop breeze caught star cooled. Pallets thin fern top neck cool. Shifts lightest linen breathed. Screens gauze veiled flies night biting. Rushes fresh moan mint scented. Spring damp worst. Thaws melt seat floor wet. Air clammy mold musk. Blankets aired sun long vinegar spritzed. Lavender sachets pillow tucked might ward. Floors ash sprinkled absorb draw. Autumn transition eased. Harvest cloaks thick warming. Air crisp apple fresh. Nights balanced layer-wise. Noble winter luxuries. Russian sables fur deep. Bed warmers copper polished circulated servant swift. Screens fretted ivory drafts blocked. Rush replaced spices cloved cinnamon scented. Monastic winter discipline. Fast spirit warmed. Cells lime sealed fresh. Vigils extra prayed frostified. Peasant hacks creative. Urine bottles clay hot night relief. Garlic hung lung warmth. Animal fats rubbed skin seal. Health cold tested. Chests tight cough rack posset soothe. Joint stiff position propped. Chilblains wool avoided. Social winter woven. Visits rare huddled shared. Tails long spun ember circle. Children winter taught. Snow angels dream prepped. Icicles licked daring. Elders winter wisdom. Joints custom blanketed. Stories blizzard long. Romance winter nestled. Embraces heat shared passion warmed. Festivals winter bright. Christmas Yule logs roaring warmth feast. Candlemas beeswax glowed. Superstitions winter fed. Frost patterns fairy footprints. Breath clouds ancestor spirits. Modern insulation echoes. Double glazing medieval daubed. Morning thaw slow. Toes numb flexed. Blankets peeled frost crusted. Women winter duty. Cloaks mended endless. Broth simmered family warm. Pregnancy winter propped mound sheepskin. Babes double swaddled. Orphan winter adopted swift heat shared. Thus cold night air wove night's patient challenge. Chill conquered tender. Warmth earned shared. Sleep frost sweetened profound. Imagine winter tuck now. Cloaks heavy yielding. Breaths cloud warm. Cold hush calling eternal. Summer strategies light. Dew cloths linen fresh. Window star open breeze song. Pallets floor low earth cool. Spring damp battled. Floors elevated pallets crate stilted. Sachets herb strong. Autumn cloaks layered. Harvest fleeces fresh thick. Cold textures memory. Will soften frost melt. Straw damp prickled morning dry. Sickness winter vigil. Fever's brick warm constant. Elder joints custom position. Romance peaks blanket veiled. Modern heated blankets gnawed medieval brick. Night's cold gift. Closeness deepened. Resilience taught. Cold whispered nightly. Huddle gentle. Endure warm. Wake grateful. Frost deep rest timeless trial. Storms winter wild. Gales shutter battled. Snow drifts door blocked. Death's winter gentle. Souls frost purified heaven bound. Cold sharing communal. Meanings dawn thawed. Sensory cold peak. Breath visible prayer. Touch contrast profound. Cold pattern timeless. Winter nights teacher eternal. Monk cells frost-rhymed vigil pure. Legacy winters endured folk song. Childhood winter's magic snowed. Births winter warmth. Bricks babe heated miracle. Romance winter nestled passion frosted. Elder tales blizzard treasured. Dreams winter white. Snow's cleansing visions pure. Sensory fusion cold divine. Shivers prayer rhythmic. Cold timeless. Winter nights heart eternal. As cold night air whispered through wattle walls, and travelers sought refuge from moonlit roads heavy with mud and weariness, medieval inns welcomed all with open doors, timber-framed havens at crossroads and market towns, where golden swan signs creaked gently in the wind, drawing pilgrims with staffs clutched tight, merchants leading pack horses laden with spices from distant lands, knights in dented armor dismounting stiff-legged, and laborers trudging final miles for one night's honest rest. Common rooms bustled alive with hearth fires roaring logs peasant fed, tables scarred deep from mugs slammed in laughter, benches filled shoulder to shoulder with accents thick from France to Flanders mingling like stew in iron kettles. Landladies bustled skirts, flying ladling pottage barley thick from steaming pots. Children dodged legs carrying candle stubs, flickering wild. Dogs begged scraps, tails thumping under tables sticky with ale rings. Straw scattered floors, thick catching spills and muddy boots. Rushes faintly scented stale, by feet trampled endless. Air heavy savory, stew mixed horse manure faint from open stable doors. Here strangers became brothers brief in shared firelight. Voices lowered conspiratorial as night deepened. The inn's warm pulse defying roads lonely dark outside. In stood crossroads beacons painted bold. Red lions roaring, white hart leaping, golden griffin wings spread. Doors flung wide rain or shine. Yards churned mud deep by horse hooves and cart wheels. Stables hay deep nickering soft, welcomed beasts exhausted. Grooms rubbed flanks currycomb rough, while travelers unloaded packs, chest stacked heavy. Common room heart pounded. Hearth central stones black soot years deep. Logs crackling, sap bubbling. Faces fire glowed, orange laughing stories body. Landlords tapped barrels, ale foaming mugs past handchain. Dice rattled bets, friendly low stakes. Songs harmonized voices, rough yet true. Children and keepers owned perched barrels, swinging legs, scampered errands coiner and proud. Beds prepared hasty communal. Long platforms dragged room center fire near. Straw sacks shaken clouds, dust golden rising. Blankets rented patched coarse, handed coin first. Positions coin-wise assigned gentle nudge. Merchant center paying extra warmth best. Pilgrim's edges devout prayer mumbled. Laborers feet in dog shared snoring companion. No privacy offered veil-thin linen curtain parted faint. Snores neighbor echoed immediate. Coughs concerned communal offered posset small. Night unfolded stranger-rich tapestry. French merchant gestured trade wild. English pilgrim rosary clicked soft saints road safe. Flemish labor dice rolled luck good. Prayers bedside crossed heart murmured group led. Blessings exchanged mugs clashed solemn. Sensory immersion in thick immediate. Nose ale sour sharp mixed stew savory rich layered faint horse manure stable drift. Ears laughter booming deep dice clatter sharp. Touch benches would stick warm from shared elbows jostle gentle. Smoke curled thick eye-watering haze soft. Candles gutter draft strong door swung constant. Shadows wall danced wild faces grotesque brief then friendly. Landladies served trenchers breath-thick pottage steaming. Trenchers gnawed clean-tossed dogs snapping eager. Mugs refilled foam overflowing chins wet. Children scampered dodging legs, tankards carried careful. Innkeeper's daughter shy smiles travelers bold-eyed. Fire spat sparks upward chimney lost, like prayers heaven-bound. Seasons shaped in life vivid. Winter-crammed bodies furnace-hot pressed, ale flowing, endless mugs never empty. Pallets triple-strawed, warmth maximal dog-cat included. Summer-brought breezes, window-propped, wide flies gauze thin. Pallets floor-low earth cool dew fresh. Storm nights doubled souls, grateful rain-drummed roof steady. Thunder distant, rumble stories hushed. Harvest fairs overflowed yard camps, pitched tales exotic endless. Health concerns and shared immediate. Fevers neighbor quarantined, corner reluctant yet cared. Coughs posset offered, honey-thick communal mugs passed. Lice swapped head itchy vinegar treated laughing. Wounds night shone scar proud. Pilgrims blisters foot-bound fresh rags. Midwives in rare birthed upstairs miracle celebrated ale rounds free. Social webs road woven strong. Alliances merchant formed shipments worn dawn handclasp. Romances pilgrim sparked eyes met fire bright dawn parted bittersweet. Friendships dice bonded lifelong tales retold home fires. Courtships chased bench sat handheld. Proposals knee dropped hearth central cheered. Children in world magic. Stable hay nestled kittens cuddled. Barrels climbed king perched. Dogs play fetched sticks endless. Innkeepers scamps mischief coin tossed travelers indulgent. Elders in heart treasured. Corners bench claimed tales pilgrimage spun. Wrapped endless audiences leaning close. Romance sparked in warmth natural. Glances fire met lingering passion room upstairs, curtain thin stolen. Kisses ale brave corner dark. Marriages dawn sworn priest summoned hasty. Whispers plans future road shared dreams voiced low. Festivals in overflow bursting. Market fairs merchants crammed yard camps tales exotic spice scented. Saints' days pilgrims pious packed prayers group chanted. Weddings village danced mugs overflowed. Christmas Yule logs roaring warmth feast endless. Midsummer revels bonfire shadowed wild. Superstitions in fed lively. Black cats threshold crossed, salt thrown over shoulders quick. Dreams road prophets shared interpretations ale fueled wise. Spilled ale quarrel portent mop prayer sworn. Knives drawn fight averted waking hand clasped dawn sealed. Morning disentangled dawn bright reluctant. Packs shouldered heavy clasp final firm. Payments coin clinked fair blessings. Exchanged road safe murmured heartfelt. Stables horses saddled nickering farewell. Yards mud fresh churned departure swift. Women in backbone tireless. Serving trenchers endless dawn to dusk. Bed straw freshened beater sticks clouds golden. Broth simmered endless cauldrons watched. Pregnancy in propped special mound pallet corner guarded extra blankets, paying grateful. Orphan and adopted scullery swift family found instant warmth hearth shared. Inns taught brotherhood road born pure. Strangers warm shared immediate. Stories exchanged priceless heirlooms. Sleep transient treasure earned miles long. Road dreams haunted vivid. Home fires longed aching. Arrivals fortune promised golden. Roads endless looping circle road. Thus in's travelers wove nights road tapestry rich. Palettes shared tender warmth. Accents blended harmony true. Rest journey pause sweet earned. Winter nights in packed overflowing. Travelers blizzard trapped huddled tales marathon spun endless. Pallets triple strawed warmth maximal bodies furnace hot. Summer nights in breezy open. Windows flung wide star music admitted breeze meadow sweet. Pallets floor low earth cool dew kissed fresh. Pregnancy pilgrims special mound pallet corner guarded extra sheepskins paying. Orphan stable boys hay warm hearth shared dog companion loyal. Nightmares in quenched group. Demons cross banished prayer shared immediate. Sweet dreams home long dawn brightened smiles contagious. Textures in worn familiar. Straw beer sticky damp. Benches hip grooved smooth years polished. Sickness in vigil neighborly. Fever's forehead felt cool cloth shared. Cough's position propped communal. Elder wisdom inexclusive corner bench. Chronicles road applied lessons pilgrim eager. Romance peaks room upstairs curtain veil passion whispered. Modern hostels bunk echo. Shared spaces in spirited community. Nights in gift pure. Isolation road defy complete. Kinship transient strong enduring. Inns whispered nightly soft. Welcome weary all. Share fire true. Part road blessed strong. Pallets deep rest roads faithful pause timeless. Storms in sheltered grateful. Thunder distant rumble rain drummed roof soothing. Deaths in gentle rare. Souls ale blessed road angels guided heaven free. In sharing communal dawn. Meanings breakfast pottage discussed laughter warm. Sensory in peak alive. Voices accent multilingual rich. Touch stranger warmth novel welcome. In pattern timeless pure. Road nights hearth eternal welcoming. Landlords in heart beating. Strangers fed sheltered dawn free generous. Legacy in's crossroads enduring folk songs sung. Childhood in's adventure magic boundless stable kittens chased. As travelers parted from in pallets, with dawn hand clasps and families stirred from woolen cocoons in frost-rimed cottages, illness cast its quiet shadow over medieval nights. Fevers turning sleep fitful, with sweat-soaked sheets and candlelit vigils, coughs racking chests in the hush between first and second sleep. Plague's terror-gripping villages, where entire households huddled in shared pallets, praying for dawn's mercy amid the wheezing breaths of the stricken. Sleep became both refuge and battleground. The sick tossed on straw ticks propped with extra cloaks for breath ease. Family spoon closer, sharing body heat against chills that shook like winter gales. Healers brewing possets of honey and herbs over dying embers to soothe throats raw. Common ailments, colds damp spring born, fevers harvest exhaustion reaped, wove into nightly rhythm. Watched tenderly by kin who changed sweat damp shifts and murmured paternosters beads clicking soft. Plague years scarred deepest. Black death pallets empty ghost silent. Survivors slept alone haunted by lost snores. Quarantine shutters barred lightless vigils endless. Yet resilience bloomed. Sleep's healing arms cradled recovery slow. Prayers rose collective stronger. Communities broth shared, dawn delivered merciful. Handled delicate here. Illness taught nights profound empathy. Bodies mended shared warmth. Fears prayer softened. Rest medicine slow profound. Cottages sickbed transformed gentle. Pallets dragged hearth near ember warmth constant. Straw fresh changed sweat absorbed. Blankets boiled lie clean dawn returned. Mothers nursed endless. Possets ladled spoon small honey thick time steeped. Cloths forehead cooled vinegar ring. Breaths chest listened rise even. Children fever small curled parental chest heartbeat soothed. Coughs propped arm elevated drip clear. Prayers bedside constant. Saints fever banished invoked cross traced. Relics borrowed church touched healing. Healers village midwives herb wise visited poultices onion garlic drawn. Bleedings lancet vein basin caught blood hot. Plague terror reshaped nights. Houses chalk marked. Lord have mercy shutters nailed shut. Families inside pallet piled fever shared final breaths, held hand clasped. Survivors slept solitary haunted. Empty pallet spots ghost sensed. Dreams lost kin visited forgiving. Quarantine sleep fractured. Watches endless vigil prayed. Second sleeps dawn snatched brief. Recovery marked community. Broths door past long pole. Pallets aired sunplague free declared. Noble sickbeds ritual grand. Physicians urine tested bedside gold bowled. Leaders velvet cushioned lancet fine. Possets jewel spooned herb exotic. Chambers fumigated rosemary smoke purifying. Featherbeds propped mound elevated lung clear. Monastic infirmaries mercy houses. Brothers broth fed rotation prayer constant. Pallets sheepskin prop joint ease. Abbot visited blessing final murmured. Sounds illness amplified intimate. Coughs wet racking chest deep. Wheezes labored breath struggle. Fevers delirious murmur saint called. Vomit basin splashed night pot empty dawn discreet. Snores absent stricken side haunted health again. Breaths monitored rise fall constant. Prayers murmured rhythmic lullaby soothing fever delirium. Sensory sickbed thick. Nose vinegar sharper bitter sweat salty layered. Touch cloths damp cool skin hot fevered. Ears rattle phlegm ominous. Blankets boiled dawn fresh lavender scented. Straw burnt plague clean new shaken golden. Season sickness seasonal. Winter colds chest settled cough endless. Spring damp fevers ague shake. Summer fluxes belly loose night pot constant. Autumn chills harvest wearied bone deep. Health wisdom layered. Hot stones chest warm cough loosen. Garlic hung miasma ward. Urine drinks diuretic fever break. Midwives birthing prop mount special breathing ease. Possets endless simmered family sized. Social bonds illness woven tender. Neighbors broth door past long pole merciful. Prayers village church lit candle collective. Orphans kin adopted pallet welcomed swift. Children illness taught empathy. Siblings broth carried small hand steady. Fears demons cross banished group. Elders illness endured. Joints propped custom gentle. Wisdom tales fever distractions spun endless. Romance illness nursed. Hands held vigil long love proved. Recovery's kisses dawn sealed grateful. Festivals illness paused. Saints' days vigils doubled healing prayed. Christmas broth feasts ill included merciful. Superstitions illness fed. Fever dreams prophet read saint sent. Plague crows death omens salt circle warded. Morning recovery dawn marked. Fevers break sweat cooling blessed. Pallets aired sun plague free declared. Women illness guardians tireless. Shifts changed endless dawn laundered. Possets brewed night long watched. Pregnancy illness double. Fevers propped mound special bay protected. Labor's posset strengthened merciful. Orphan illness community cradled. Pallets extra shared broth rotated. Illness taught night sympathy profound. Bodies mended shared tender. Fears prayer collective softened. Rest healing slow merciful. Plague nights ghost silent. Shutters barred lightless prayers endless. Pallets emptied ghost haunted survivors solitary. Recovery dawn reclaimed. Broths door past merciful. Sleep second snatched renewal true. Noble fevers physician summoned. Urine charts gold frame. Bleeding's basin silver caught. Recovery's feast celebrated grateful. Monk infirmary's rotation vigil. Brothers broth fed per constant recovery psalm chanted. Cough season's winter deep. Chests tight posset honey soothed. Physicians prop drip clear ease. Fever dreams diagnostic. Fires walked sweat drenched demons banished cross. Health hacks embedded. Stone's hot chest warmed. Garlic lung strengthened hung. Social visits door prop merciful. Broths past pole long prayers shouted window. Children nursed sibling small. Cloth's forehead cooled steady hands. Elders counseled fever soft. Saints invoked wisdom ancient. Romance proved vigil nursed. Hands held love enduring. Festivals healing doubled. Candlemas lights fever banished. Superstitions polter strong. Onions plague drawn berry dawn. Morning broths dawn delivered. Recovery smiles contagious spread. Women broth boilers endless. Families fed merciful tireless. Pregnancy prop special. Fever's babe shielded mound. Orphan broth shared community cradled swift. Thus illness nights wove healing tapestry. Vigils tender watched. Prayers collective strong. Sleep medicine merciful slow. Winter coughs chest settled. Possets simmered endless honey time. Summer fluxes night pot constant. Palates propped belly ease. Spring agues shake quenched. Herbs valerian pillow tuck calm. Autumn chills bone warmed. Cloaks extra draped shared. Sickness textures sweat damp. Wool boiled fresh lavender pure. Sickness vigilance constant. Breaths monitored rise even tender. Elder joints prop custom. Physicians fever ease gentle. Romance recoveries dawn kissed grateful. Modern antibiotics echo. Medieval possets herb true. Night's sickness gift. Resilience deepened. Kinship illness strong. Illness whispered nightly. Heal slow merciful. Pray collective. Endure dawn grateful. Vigil deep rest timeless healer. Storm sickness sheltered. Thunder distant fever dreamed. Death's prayer guided. Soul's candle lit heaven free. Sickness sharing communal. Broth's merciful dawn. Sensory sickness peak. Fever's hot chill contrast. Breath's labored prayer. Sickness pattern timeless. Night's teacher merciful eternal. Healer's village heart. Herbs physic grown wise. Legacy sickness folk remedied enduring. Childhood sickness sibling nurse tender. Birth's sickness defied. Labor's posset strengthened miracle. Romance illness proved enduring. Elder tales fever distraction spun. Dreams sickness prophet. Cures herbs glowing picked. Sensory fusion sickness divine. Prayers rhythmic healing. Sickness timeless. Night's mercy eternal. As plague vigils faded into dawn's merciful light and villages stirred from fevered nights. High atop fortified hills where stone towers pierced the sky like silent sentinels. Sleep unfolded in castles and keeps. Vast halls echoing with the tread of guards on midnight watch. Noble families retiring to curtained chambers where feather beds sank deep under velvet canopies. Yet drafts howled through arrow slits and mortar gaps, turning luxury into battle against night's relentless chill. These were fortresses of stone and power. Great halls strewn with scented rushes, where attainers snored on benches by dying fires. Lords and ladies ascending spiral stairs to private solar beds carved oak ancient. Servants padding wool slippered to bank braziers charcoal glowed ringed. Guards paced battlements starlit cloaks whipping wind. Torches sputtering gust strong, casting shadows wall-long grotesque, while inside feather mattresses fluffed maids daily welcomed the weary elite. Sleep here blended grandeur with vigilance constant. Doors bolted iron heavy, shutters horn-paned sealed. Yet night's quiet amplified every creak beam settling or cough, hall echoed vast. Castles cradled powers rest profound. Dreams of conquests falcon swooped and rivals fallen gracious. Morning trumpets heralding hunts and council amid stones unyielding hush. Great halls served communal sleep vast. Rushes layered lavender time scented foot deep. Benches dragged fire near retainers, piled cloak draped, snoring orchestral. Hounds stretched flank heaving, dream deep baying muffled. Falcons jessied perches, rustled wings soft. Hearths massive logs man thick roared, tended servants tireless. Tapestry's huntsmen, saints flickered alive, flame dance hypnotic. Nobles retired, upper solar stair spiral ascended. Chambers innermost draft minimal brazier ringed screens, fretted wood carved. Guards rotated watchtower high. Boots stone echoed hollow. Breaths mist-clouded winter sharp. Eyes road-scanned wolf thief bandit. Bedchamber solar private evolved. Oak doors heavy banded iron knock aloud. Floors woven rugs eastern dyed bearskins grizzly pawed. Walls tapestry hung absorbing day heat radiating night long. Four posters towered tester canopied velvet embroidered saints warding. Mattresses tiered wool base firm hair middle resilient feather top cloud swallow. Hangings silk tied parted regal inner curtains linen gauze summer. Velvet sealed winter drafts high deflected. Preparation ritual grand evening. Valets unlaced hauberks chainmail polished hung. Ladies' maids unlaced kirtles shift fine silk. Ewers rosewater warm basin washed faces hands jeweled. Prayers knelt bedfoot cushion velvet chaplain murmured Latin taperlid blessing final. Bed warmers copper polished coals hot circulated feet sealed cork wrapped. Sickness solar summoned urgent. Physicians urine tested bedside charts gold framed. Bleeders lancet veined basin silver caught blood hot. Possets jewel spooned exotic herb imported. Chambers fumigated rosemary smoke purifying air sweet. Feather beds propped mound elevated lung clear breathing eased. Dreams castle power grand. Empire's falcon swooped endless. Rivals fallen sword just gracious. Air's golden cradled laughing crown bright. Morning recounted scribes noted omen prophet courtly. Hospitality scale generous. Honored guests adjoining chambers doors linked oak heavy. Pallets curtain nested honored equal. Daily dual grand practical. Beds day thrones canopied velvet. Frames wheeled alcoves discreet storage. Livestock falcon mews adjacent rustled jessied wings soft. Hounds kennel echoed bay distant. Aging accommodated regal. Elders solar ground floor joint spared stairs free. Grandchildren page footstools. Tail listened wrapped. Festivals castle exalted. Christmas feather beds guest piled merry overflowing. 12th night rushes rose strewn perfumed. Health lore arcane castle deep. Leech's velvet cushion precise. Purge's gold bold measured. Astrology charts sleep pattern prophetic. Social webs solar woven alliance strong. Marriages bed sealed chaste witnessed herald proclaimed. Betrothals consummated union sworn. Compare in palates transient. Castle feather heaven power echoed. Luxury vigilance balanced. Morning summons herald trumpet soft resonant. Servants flock disentangle royal orchestrated. Women's solar ritual led. Monthly cloths silk lined discreet scented. Births chamber sealed midwives French skilled. Children's solar play coronet. Toy swords rush duels nightly. Dolls feather cradled queenly. Superstitions castle gilded pure. Relics saints bedside demon ward silver set. Charms gold set nightmare bind heirloom. Legacy endures castle inventoried. Feather beds prize dowry heirlooms cherished. Sensory solar saturation regal. Nose incense dominant perfumed. Touch silk feather cascade plush. Ears echo refined stone tuned. Modern castles hotels echo. Canopy beds luxury clad historic. Night's castle gift profound. Grandeur vigilance balanced. Power slumbered secure stone. Castles whispered nightly soft. Rule endures eternal. Luxury guards dynasty. Dreams conquest bright. Solar deep rest timeless fortress throne. Storms castle defied. Thunder Bailey echoed distant. Winds tower howled arrow barred. Death's solar shrouded. Souls relic held heaven guided herald trumpeted. Castles sharing courtly. Meanings council discussed omen wise. Sensory castle peak. Stone chill luxury contrast. Echoes vigilance heightened. Castle pattern timeless. Fortress knights guardian eternal. Guards castle heart vigilant. Patrols endless road watched. Legacy castles power enduring legend. Childhood castles adventure nighted boundless. Births solar transformed. Rushes silk strewn blood imperceptible. Airs announced trumpets dawn heralded. Romance solar peaked curtain veiled passion unchecked. Elder wisdom solar taught chronicles bedtime exclusive. Dreams castle prophet. Empire seen golden endless. Sensory fusion castle divine. Power breathstone synced. Castle timeless. Fortress nights power eternal. As castle solar hangings parted to morning trumpets, and guards descended battlements with dawn's first light, night's sensory memory lingered deepest in smells and textures. The earthy must of straw pallets mingling with wool's lanolin tang, and hearth smoke clinging heavy to blankets. Hands tracing rough fibers, softened by body oils, and feet rubbing rush mats woven tight under candlelit toes. These were no abstract sensations, but nightly companions intimate. Straw's dry whisper yielding lumps under hips, while scratching gentle, like cat's tongue against shift-thin skin. Smoke curling nose tingling from banked embers. Rushes faintly herbal under shifting weight. Air thickened layered sense personal. Sweat days labor carried. Unwashed linens faintly sour. Herbs lavender warded faint from sachets pillow tucked. All blending cocoon-like sealing sleepers from outer nights wild damp. Textures map bodies nightly. Calluses palm smooth blanket rub. Elbows straw prickled adjusted. Toes earth chilled seeking hot stones wrapped rag soft. Smells evoke memory deep. Harvest chaff golden homesick. Will sheep pastures childhood. Smoke winter hearths grandmother tended. Night's tactile olfactory world grounded dreams earth anchored. Sleep richer earned against fibers honest and sense lived in. Straw dominated peasant textures primal. Sacks coarse hemp ticking stuffed chaff golden fresh or flat pokey worn. Lumps kneaded knees elbowed smooth nightly. Crackle every shift symphony soft sinking breaths. Wool blankets heavy 10-pound weights drape double pinning heat thief ward. Fibers rough lanolin grease time mellowed. Scratches faded oils body warmed. Rushes floor softened springy feet muffled. Herbal faintly mint time trampled scents released. Smoke pervasive wood char acrid clinging hair clothes. Eyes watered gentle tear prayer like. Linens shift thin coarse, sweat wicking. Patches mended bone needle visible. Noble textures opulent layered. Feather beds down plush, sinking cloud deep quill pokes, occasional redistributed. Silk shifts slid cool summer feather hot winter. Velvet canopies rasped cheek luxury. Furs mink sable tickled nose warm fur deep. Linens cambric fine sea scented imported. Rushes spices clove cinnamon layered scented deep. Cedar moth wards faint polish wood. Rose water spritz dream sweet lingering. Monastic textures ascetic pure. Will habits camel scratch cheap prophet reminder. Straw pallets chaff crackle spine straight. Rush mats cool prayer kneeled. Incense frankincense vespers hold nose laced holy. Lime walls breath fresh chalky. Smells seasonal vivid. Winter smoke dominant peat dung layered. Spring damp earth mold musk. Summer sweat hay meadow fresh. Autumn harvest grain dust sweet. Nightly rituals texture sharpened. Straw beaten sticks clouds golden dust outdoor. Will shaken wind full aired. Rushes swept fresh mown herbal. Blankets folded chest precise dawn. Linens vinegar washed rare sun bleached. Hot stones rag wrapped feet chilled rubbed smooth. Cloaks mantle thick draped weight reassuring. Sensory fusion tactile olfactory peak. Nose layered personal cocoon. Straw hay musk dominant wool lanolin undercurrent smoke char overlay. Touch fibers honest varied. Rough yielding soft. Eyes closed textures mapped mind familiar. Smells dreams triggered vivid. Health textures diagnostic. Sweat damp will fever sign boiled fresh. Cough cloths damp cool forehead applied. Wounds poultice hot onion garlic drawn. Social textures shared. Blankets past hand warmth collective. Pillows head to head story listened. Children textures played. Straw forts blanket draped giggling. Will tag rough tumble. Elders textures memory. Grandmother's quilt patches tail stitched. Grandfather's cloak hunt scent lingering. Romance textures intimate. Fingers wool traced handheld. Shift silk slid skin clothes. Festivals textures rich. Christmas rushes pine strewn scented. Yule logs resin smoke thick. Superstitions textures warded. Lavender sachets nightmare repellent tucked. Rowan wool tide fairy banished. Morning textures renewed. Straw padded lumps down smooth. Will folded airing line. Rushes swept dust free. Women textures tenders. Mending endless bone needle hearth light. Washing lycaustic hands red. Pregnancy textures propped. Mount sheepskin soft babe cradled. Orphan textures community. Blankets extra shared warmth given swift. Night smells textures wove sensory cradle profound. Fibers memory tangible. Sense earth home anchored. Sleep textured rich lived in. Winter textures thickened. Will triple damp frost softened. Straw dense insulation packed. Smoke peat heavy nose filled. Summer textures lightened. Linens cambric thin cool breathed. Feathers aired lump free. Pregnancy mound textures layered. Sheepskins extra soft yielding. Orphan blanket shared fibers family woven swift. Nightmares textures quenched. Demons wool muffled cross traced. Sweet dreams textures memory. Grandmother quilt comfort dreamed. Health textures soothed. Fevers damp cloths cool forehead. Coughs prop position wool yielding. Elder wisdom textures taught. Joints blanket custom gentle. Romance textures caress. Silk slid skin intimate whispered. Modern fabrics echo. Will Juvet's texture revival luxury. Night's texture gift. Grounding earth tethered. Memory fiber woven. Textures whispered nightly. Yield gentle. Comfort deep. Dream anchored. Fiber deep rest timeless tactile. Storms textures tested. Winds shudder rattle wool pinned. Death's textures shrouded. Final breaths blanket held soft. Texture sharing communal. Blankets passed warmth given. Sensory texture peak. Touch dominant fiber explored. Texture pattern timeless. Night skin eternal. Women menders endless. Patches dawn sewn visible love. Legacy textures heirloom quilted enduring. Childhood textures play boundless straw fort tumbled. Health poultices texture hot. Onion garlic drawn wound deep. Women washing lycaustic dawn renewed. Pregnancy mound sheepskin babe texture soft. Orphan textures woven family blanket shared. Night textures wove cradle intimate. Fibers honest yielding. Sense layered personal. Sleep sensory profound grounded. As night smells and textures faded into the velvet hush of second sleep's deepest embrace, with straw pallets cradling bodies heavy from dreams and wool blankets rising falling in rhythmic unison, the first stirrings of morning arrived not with harsh light, but with the distant tolling of church bells. Bronze voices deep and patient rolling across misty fields and thatched rooftops, calling matins for monks, lauds for villagers, rousing the world from slumber's gentle hold with notes that lingered long in the crisp dawn air like echoes of eternity. These bells marked time's sacred rhythm. Heavy clappers swung slow by ropes worn smooth from generations of pulling hands, tones vibrating stone church towers, and felt chest deep by sleepers stirring slow. A call to prayer and labor that blended seamlessly with rooster crows piercing sharp and the first lowing of cows in distant barns welcoming pale sky. People woke gradual reluctant. Toes flexed numb against cold floors or hot stone remnants. Eyes blinked gummy against gray light seeping shutter cracks. Bodies heavy with night's renewal stretching joints stiff from straw lumps and wool weights. Blankets peeled back slow reluctant clinging. Pallets padded smooth for evening's return. Yawns chain ripping through family piles as children rubbed eyes fist small and elders swung legs bench edge creaking. Bells anchored awakening communal. Villages stirred unison doors unlatched. Hearths poked embers revival crackling. The night's private hush yielding to morning's shared song of preparation and purpose. Bells varied village to cathedral grand. Parish towers squat bronze three-toned low rich. Abbey's multiple bells cascading harmony psalm-like. Cathedral's peals eight-voice symphony rolling valley-long. Tolling manual patient. Sacristan's ropes pulled dawn-chilled hands red-knuckled. Sequences canonical precise. Matins midnight deep. Lauds dawn heralding light break. Sounds carried mist amplified. Valleys echoed rolling. Hills sharp-cut crisp. Fog muffled cotton soft lingering. Roosters joined chorus farmyard proud. Dogs bark chain reaction fading. Birds chirped branches waking symphony. Awakening unfolded ritual slow intimate. First awareness bell vibration chest felt dream blended. Eyes flutter reluctant gray light admitted. Breaths deepened stretch full lung expanded. Toes test floor chill curled recoiled seeking blanket edge warm. Fingers wool knotted untangle slow. Necks crick straw lump imprinted rub gentle. Children whined sleepy arms stretched parental chest crave. Elders grown joint stiff, swung legs deliberate earth testing. Pallets disentangled choreography tender. Blankets folded chest precise corners squared. Straw padded lumps down smooth evening ready. Rushes swept dust nights gathering broom course. Hearths revived bellows blown spark coaxed flame leap. Pots water filled well tripped dawn cold. Morning sounds crescendo built. Bells bronze dominant rolling. Roosters piercing farmyard sharp. Doors unlatched creak hinge oiled fresh. Hearth pokes crackle revival spark pop. Children giggles rising tumbled floor rush play start. Dogs stretched paw scratched yawn wide. Livestock load barn insistent milk time. Voices murmured low prayer first blending yawn song. Water buckets clank fetched well deep. Sensory morning peaked fresh. Nose hearth smoke waking crisp mixed dew earth damp. Eyes light gray seeping adjustment slow. Touch floors cold shocked feet calloused. Ears bells resonant chest deep. Blankets wool heavy peeled reluctant skin goosebumped. Straw faint crackle padded smooth. Seasons awakening seasonal. Winter bells frost muffled breath clouded. Spring bird song chorus bright. Summer roosters early insistent. Autumn mist dampened rolling slow. Health morning monitored. Fevers night broken sweat dried blessed. Coughs cleared dawn sped expectorated. Joints stiff warmed hearthline gentle. Social bonds morning woven. Breakfast pottage shared spoon clink tales dream exchanged. Neighbors called fenceling day plan. Children morning play boundless. Pallets forts abandoned dawn chased dog fetched. Elders morning wisdom. Benches claimed tales breakfast spun wrapped. Romance morning glowed. Kisses dawn sealed plans whispered. Festivals morning exalted. Easter bells peal joyous resurrection chanted. Christmas matins candle procession star bright. Superstitions morning fed. First light dream true prophet read. Rooster crows fortune good salt sprinkled. Morning chores dawn orchestrated. Water fetched well deep chill handed. Fire stoked logs fresh stacked. Animals milked udder warm steam rising. Women morning heart. Pottage stirred endless wooden spoon rhythmic. Children dressed tunic small. Pallets remade precise evening await. Pregnancy morning propped. Mounds eased dawn stretched gentle babe kicked active. Orphan morning family. Pallets shared breakfast included swift belonging. Bells anchored morning communal profound. Awakening prayer led, labor purpose filled. Nights hushed dawn song blended. As seasons turned their endless wheel, from winter's meditative hush, through spring's renewal, summer's starlit brevity, and autumn's harvest wisdom, sleep emerged timeless eternal, connecting medieval souls huddled on straw pallets under woolen piles, to modern listeners drifting now under soft blankets. The same night's gentle rhythm pulsing through centuries unbroken. Dreams whispering universal truths of rest profound and humanity shared across shadowed hearths and candle flames long, extinguished. This eternal rest wove all threads together. Peasant families spooned warmth shared against drafts. Nobles sinking feather deep in solar canopies. Monks aligning spines straight on husked pillows toward resurrection's dawn. Travelers in piled accents harmonized. All surrendering to night's patient embrace, where cold air, flickering shadows, and dream omens yielded same peace profound. Generations layered upon pallets worn smooth by countless bodies. Blankets patched story-stitched heirloom past. Bells tolling unchanged across eras, calling matins lauds eternal. Modern electric nights rediscover biphasic watches candle-free, yet soul-hungry. Sleep's ancient cadence, calling back to segmented rhythms, healthier deeper than unbroken blocks. Tonight's narration fades like embers banked gentle. Medieval nights dissolving into your breathing slow. The world's hush settling complete as eyes grow heavier. Rest eternal welcoming all wanderers home. Let straws faint crackle, wool's soft scratch. Hearth's dying sigh carry you now into slumber's timeless arms, connecting past present in night's universal cradle. Eternal rest span classes unified. Peasants' earth-grounded pallets dream-plowed fields golden. Nobles power-echoed solars falcon-swooped empires. Monks heaven-bridged cells psalm-chanted visions. Yet core same, bodies heavy labor earned sinking imperfect comforts. Minds wandering dream-vivid prophecy soft. Morning's bells summoned renewal grateful. Threads connected. Church bells rolled valley-long peasant monk noble chest deep. Harvest chaff stuffed pallets in traveled castle shared, while fleeces sheep pastured universal warmth. Cycles eternal human earth synced. Solstices marked longest vigils prayer deep. Equinoxes balanced labor sleep peaked. Festivals wove communal joy. Christmas Yule eternal. Easter resurrection dawn pealed. Plague scars faded resilience bloomed. Empty pallets refilled love swift. Vigils prayers evolved stronger communal. Modern rediscovery whispers truth. Biphasic watches studied deeper restorative. Candlelit evenings melatonin gentle. Nature rhythms clocktified healthier profound. Birth's eternal miracle. Cradles rock grandma grandkid ultrasound scene. Romance eternal union. Walks timeless swipe matched. Elder tales eternal treasured. Oral wisdom TED talked. Dreams eternal oracle. Flying universal quit job travel prophet. Sensory fusion eternal divine. Hush prayer rhythmic global. Rest timeless. Night soul eternal. Health eternal mended. Herbs grandma brewed vitamin grandkid. Women eternal tenders. Menders universal love stitched. Pregnancy eternal protected. Mounds timeless babe heartbeat heard. Orphan eternal welcomed. Palettes shared adoption swift global. Rest wove eternity tapestry. Centuries connected hush profound. Sleep universal homecoming gentle.